Hello? Oh, shit, me. Hi! You guys have done so much shit already, I don't even know how to catch up. Hello, hello, hello. Happy whatever day it is today. I'm so excited for stream today. I'm gonna tier rank all of the books that I read in 2024. Vague, thank you so much for being hella first. I don't have an official first command, but thank you so much. You're so sick for that. And, Vicious, you too. Thank you so much. Hi, how are you guys? Vicious and Big were literally chilling in chat talking to each other before I even went live. So I thank you guys so much. You guys are so sweet. Um, let's see. Vague, hello. Vicious, hello. Oh my god, hi, Super Dope. Super Dope, you're the one who did the Wow Viper. I heard that. I was going to pour my coffee and I heard the Wow Viper go on. But Super Dope, it's good to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute. Hi Ray, it's good to see you. Happy. It's actually Wednesday today. Tabs. Hi to using 4 Rs. Thank you. Thank you, Queen. Hi, Juju B. Hi, T. I literally was talking to all of you guys like not even a little bit ago in Chubby's stream. Hi, Soph. Pola, what the fuck? I love you and I miss you. I'll talk to you later. No! Oh my god, brief Pola encounter, brief Pola encounter. Pola is on vacation, so she shouldn't be in here anyway. She should be on the beach. Pola, I love you. I miss you. I hope you're having a lovely vacation. Boobs Magoo. Hi, Boobs Magoo 69. Hi, Boobs Magoo 69. Oh my god, Pussy Raps Pussy. I need see this is why I can't say that shit. Because Chubby says Plussy and I say Pussy, which is why I can't say that shit. Because I say it so anyway, hello. It's nice to see you. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Hi Valky. Hi Emily. Hi Chubby. Hi Skopu. Nose goes. Hi Nose goes. It's good to see you. Hi pretty lady. Hi pretty lady to you. I'm so excited to expand my yeah, everyone get their Goodreads list out right now. Everyone get their Goodlets? Everyone, oh my fuck. Everyone get their Goodreads open right now. Hi Bex. Hello, hello. Watching with no sound because I forgot. Oh my god, I thought... Dude, you scared me. I thought you were gonna be like I was muted this entire time. Imagine. I don't like my outfit. You guys, what if I do a little bit of a change? I'm like looking at myself. I do not like what's happening here. Is it too late? Maybe if I cover... Alright, we'll just try to do that. Fuck, I don't like it. Aw, man. Anyway. Hi, Bex. I'm so sad I'm working. I'm so sad that you're working. Emily, I feel like I always stream while you work. It's like the most devastating thing on the planet. Hi, Plussy. I made it here. Thank you so much. It's so good to see you too. I took December off. It was a crazy holiday season. Oh shit, I didn't know that. Super dope. I'm glad that you took December off. I did get to pop into one of your streams on when you had returned, so it's good to see you here, but I have seen you. But okay, it's funny, I noticed your presence not on this site. I wish I'm on the beach right now, Scopely, you're telling me. Pola is living her best life, and so she shouldn't even be on twitch.com. In fact, she should probably delete the app entirely. I'm still at work, so I may not chat as much, but I'm here watching and lurking. Thank you, Vicious, I appreciate you. I hope work goes by quick and easy. Also, hi kitty kitty meow meow 69 420. I love you. I don't know who you are, but I love you. You have my love and devotion forever. Let's see. That's the way I cringed. Why? Because of the Plussy. What did I say? There's Plussy and I say Plussy. Another one. Wow. And Gay Wolf is here. Gay Wolf Shark, hi. Plussy Supreme, hi. One of those is Matsume and one of those is Emily. That's my guess. That's my guess. You can call me Plussy. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Gay Wolf, it's nice to see you. They're so stupid. Wait, where's misinformation? Well, there's a couple people missing. I'll at least get to catch the back half of stream today. It's totally fine, Chevy. We're crossing schedules bad this week. Everyone get their plussies. Oh my god, Gay Wolf Shark, thank you so much for the follow. You guys, I'm 19 followers away from hitting my goal, so that's exciting. I want to hit that before my 1 year. You can change if you want. I think I'm going to. You look cute, but be comfy. You look oh, okay. Maybe I just don't like, usually this is thicker. This string. You know what's you know what it is? It's that I don't wear white. I don't wear white, and so I'm like caught off guard. I was trying to do something different. Honestly, I was trying to look bookish, and now I'm just like, the fuck? What am I doing? How did that go off? Super, super dope. Thank you for the gifted sub to Plussy. I appreciate you so much. I did not even know that a Plussy account existed, and they need to fold into our lore. You got taxed. That's really shit. I'm really sorry about that. But thank you so much. Any gifted sub, resub, or 300 bits gets you a fishy. Oh, I needed to pin that. Gets you a cast line this month, and then top 3 get a chaos box. I miss Coochie Crumble. I don't know who they are, but they have my heart. I miss Coochie Crumble too, man. And Chicken McTendy. Don't say that now. There's gonna be like 19 plussies after this. You're telling me. Actually, yeah. Maybe if we don't talk about them, they'll disappear. I don't want them to, though. You look fabulous. Slay the house down, Boots. Houston, I'm deceased. Oh my god, Gay Wolf Shark. I know who you are. Gay Wolf Shark, you have unfortunately given up your identity. Gay Wolf Shark, I know who you are, King. Hi, Ordy. It's good to see you. 5% Pert. I'm so sorry. 30% Goblin. I'm so sorry. These are not looking good for any of y'all. 28% chicken pot pie. Chevy gave us an insider scoop. You don't like peanut butter? I hate peanut butter. You don't like is like a nice way of saying it. I absolutely hate peanut butter with my entire spirit. I'm changing. I can't do this. You guys, what could I do for y'all? Alterhead, welcome in. That's a fun ass name. I'm running. I will. How could I fix this? Or should I chill? What if I wore a blanket? That could emulate some level of cozy vibes. Okay, we fixed it. We fixed it. We're good. We're so good. I'm back in my black. Oh, but Ordy, your dicket is 93% whip it. That's like, let's fucking go. Anyway, Joker, yeah, I hate peanut butter. I hate peanut butter so much. I also hate mayo. And I also hate... We were talking about something else in Shelby's stream. Mayo. I love ranch. What's the other thing? The other white sauce. Whatever the other white one is that's not ranch, I hate that shit too. 97% Binky. Kitty Kitty Meow Meow 69,420. I would expect literally nothing less. Literally nothing else. Like, less. I need some chicken pot pie right now. I've also still never tried a chicken pot pie. One day. One day I will. Ooh, maybe we could do that for my 1 year thing. Because I was thinking about this. I have an official date for the day I want to celebrate my 1 year affiliate Annie. It's going to be January 19th, which is a Sunday. And it's just going to be, there's not going to be any incentives or anything. It's just going to be fun hang. So I was thinking we could do some community games like Jackbox and Gartic, and marbles, and I'm also gonna low-key, high-key, read your astrology charts if you're interested in getting read. But I'll announce more about that later. I went overboard with the gayness, and now I'm now exposed. Yeah, Gay Wolf Shark, you really full sent it, and you revealed your identity. Peanut butter is a delight. Scopo, I just can't get behind it. Also, hi Ram, it's good to see you. Friday, I will be there. Oh, another thing. This Friday, I am starting my Elden Ring playthrough. I've never played a Souls game, and I've never played Elden Ring. So I've never fucking even opened the game. I'm so fucked. I'm just actually so fucked. So, if you guys are interested, that's gonna be happening Friday. I'm pretty excited about it, but I'm like really nervous. Yeah. That's just gonna be used and abused for sure, for sure. I'm excited. We're gonna have a death counter. I don't know, we're gonna see. It's gonna be so first impressions though, because like I haven't even opened the game. I'm gonna open it for the first time on stream. I'm gonna learn the controls for the first time on stream. So if any of you have played Elden Ring, that will be your one day that you are allowed to backseat the ever-living hell out of me. Like, you just sit there and chat and be like, Viper, this is what's up, this is what's up, this is what's up. Because I don't know anything. It looks like a fancy fur. It's just a blanket, but it makes me feel more... It makes me feel more like myself. Sour cream, yeah, Chubby. I hate sour cream. Mayo, unfollowed, unfollow train. What the hell? Bex, yeah, okay, Bex, you get it, because I also hate peanut butter. Horseradish is also garbage, and also hi, guilty of crime. Hi, lovely, it's good to see you. Horseradish is also garbage, and also low-key, high-key sauerkraut as well. But it all originates in the fact that I hate vinegar. I hate vinegar. So anything that's like pickled, starting with pickles themselves, it's not really my vibe. I just don't like the taste of pickle. I do like sour. What is the chip called that's really popular in England? And it's here now as well. Salt and vinegar. I do like a salt and vinegar chip, but I eat it like a mouse. I wish I had a chip with me. I always do. Basically, I'll take a little chip and I'll just bite little pieces off of it like a freak. Like a little freak. Also, hi, Ant-Man. It's good to see you. I saw your greeting pins. I knew you were here. Tzatziki. Ram. I got a gyro the other day, delivered, and I said no tzatziki, and they put tzatziki sauce on it, and I had a mental breakdown. I'm just gonna be so honest with you. I had a fucking mental breakdown. It was so embarrassing. And then my partner ordered me a new one. So, no tzatziki either, I fear. Absolutely down for astrology stream. I'm excited. I'm gonna read y'all's natal charts. So I'll announce more about that later, but it'll be happening to celebrate my 1 year streaming, which is January 19th, which is a Sunday. Also, hi Rosie, it's good to see you. I don't like sour cream. You don't know how excited I am for that? I'm glad that you're excited for Elden Ring. I feel like I'm gonna be, I see this all the time. I feel like I'm gonna be really goated or really ass, and there's no in between. Like, there's literally no in between. Don't like pickles, peanut butter, and mayo. I'm starting to rethink my subscription. Are you subbing for taste? Listen, what do I like that you would like? Also, I put this on in reverse. What would I like that you would like? Robin Williams. We have that in common. Minecraft. I gave up on Elden Ring, and it wasn't even a boss that made me do it. It was a common bird enemy. Ant-Man, please don't say that to me. I feel like that's gonna happen to me. Hi, Olive. It's good to see you. I'm guessing you don't like olives either. Olive, I love you. I hate olives. Yeah. Adore you. Dude, I don't fuck with olives. I've tried all types of them. I do like the essence of a black olive on a piece of pizza. So, like, if you order, I do this with two things. I get a pizza with black olives and jalapenos for the essence of them. Do you know what I'm saying? So then I'll pick them off, but I like what they leave behind. I couldn't physically eat one though. Also, Bayan, it's good to see you. Bayan, I am so excited that you're here. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. We can start this stream officially now. To anyone, if I didn't say it and you didn't read the title, I'm gonna be tier ranking every book I read in 2024. I read 21. And that includes, no, I read 22. How do I say this? I read 20. I read front to back 20 books, but I say I read 22. I did DNF 2 of them, and we're going to talk about those books as well. I'm forgetting the second book that I DNF'd. It's on my Kindle. Fuck, what was it called? This is my Kindle case. Here, I'll cover this. Do you like her? This is before I realized that I should probably put stickers on a case and then put that case on my Kindle, and I started directly sticking fucking stickers on my Kindle. Like a fool. Don't do that. What did I DNF? Got it. I'm gonna download a picture of this as well. What was y'all's favorite books that you read this year? I love Salt and Vinegar Chips, so strong, it gives me a sweat on my brow. Bex, you get it. I can't, like, put a whole Salt and Vinegar Chip in my mouth, but, like, I do love nibbling on them. Like a little freak. I'm fucking dead hearing you say that about your Euro rap. Ram, it was literally fucking tragic. It was a tragedy in which I can't even describe. Because it wasn't even salvageable. Like, if the rap was salvageable, the Euro was okay, it would be one thing, but I couldn't save it. I couldn't save it. You're gonna be terrible at Elden Ring, but that's why I'm excited. Okay, thank you, Natsume. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate you so much. Appreciate you, King. Thank you, thank you. Um, I'm sure you're excited too. I love black olives and olives crossing only. Period. The essence of black olives and olives crossing only. Olives on pizza for me is a no. Still gotta finish Mexican Gothic. Matsume, have you started it? That's one of my favorite books that I read a couple years ago. I really fucked with that. It has the same energy. I love a Gothic romance. I love a Gothic book in general. It has the same energy as Nosferatu, and y'all know I haven't shut the fuck up about Nosferatu. I love that movie. I want to go see it again, actually. Hi, Slurable. It's good to see you. Little freak nibbles? What that? What is a little freak nibble? I got the stuff to make my case, but we need to actually do it. Yeah. Vipper, rate my eyebrows. Ducky. First of all, hello. Hi, King. Secondly, what the fuck you talking about? What eyebrows? Vipper, rate my eyebrows? 5. Because I can't see them. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. I only read graphic novels. Joker, that is fine. That is totally fine. The last one was probably my favorite, Love Fantasy. The last one, I haven't heard of that. I got hooked on hockey. Smut in 2024. Listen, I also bumped up my smut in 2024. You guys will see here in a second. Not sure your location, but Utz brand salt and vinegar is quite potent. Is it Utz or Oots? I do know Utz. Isn't that a Michigan brand, Ordy? My favorite brand of salt and vin. I'll have to try that. Eyebrow rating stream? Yeah, for real. Where are you, Ducky? How do we see your eyebrows? My husband's favorite order from Domino's is onions and black olives, and I'm offended every time. Yeah, it sounds pretty nasty, but I get it. Excited for the stream because I low-key might read a book again sometime soon. Listen, I didn't read a book for 5 fucking years. And that's not an exaggeration. Something possessed me a couple of years ago, and my life changed. I did not read for a really long time. And then I got possessed and things changed, so. Unswag goes hard. Is Unts Michigan? I really want to read a dark romance lately. I'm in that kind of mood. Vicious. I might have a suggestion for you. I always say oots. Oh, might be. Big fan of smut. Ant-Man, I got some suggestions for you. I haven't read a book cover to cover since 7th grade. Tabs, there will be at least one book that you like in stream today. Are we uploading our eyebrow? Yeah, hair. Disco. Upgrade. If y'all are not in my Discord and you want to be, go ahead and drop your eyebrows, pics, and aesthetics, and I'll rate them after we tier rank books. I haven't read a book since 2001. Bex, fair enough. Hockey smut, if you're into the idea, listen to the entirety of the pucking around. The pucking is crazy. The pucking around is actually insane. Lorelai, I've heard of that though. Personal best, I believe Viper would struggle with PB. Astray. Don't say Nosferatu is like Mexican Gothic because I'm struggling to finish that bitch. Mexican Gothic isn't. Wait, Matsume, did you see Nosferatu? What were your thoughts on it? I really fucked with that movie. I thought it was good. But I'm like a Robert Eggers fucking fangirl, and anything with Willem Dafoe is like a 90% for me already. And then you got like the cinematography where he was like giving like gothic fucking Wes Anderson. I mean, it was top to bottom chef's kiss for me. The only books I read is uni books about law, politics, and communications. Skopu, that's why I didn't read for a long time, because when I was in college, I was like, the fuck am I gonna read for? I already have to, I'm being forced to read. I'm not doing it for fun. Nosferatu Pilgrimage. Okay, Matsume, okay, I get what you're saying now. So you're struggling to get through Mexican Gothic. Nosferatu, I don't know. Matsume, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if you will like Nosferatu. Because I know what type of horror movies you like. And this is not like that. Like, Nosferatu is not like that at all. I would just go in with an open mind and heart. That's all I have. Okay, should we start this tier list? Should we get started? Da 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 da. Let me upload all of my little pictures. I did do all of this yesterday. I was doing a co-working call with Shelby, Soph, and Spiff, and I got so much stuff done, which was awesome. And so today I wasn't, you know, fighting for my life. Hey, why does it cut these off, you guys? That's fucking rude if you ask me. That's fine. That's not fine though. I hate that. Why does it cut them off? Oh, square images. I don't want square images. Landscape. Got it. Got it, got it, got it. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgina, if you ask me. You can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'll show you in a second. See? You wanna... Are y'all talking about age? Let's fucking go. Guilty of Crime is cracked at reading, by the way. Guilty of Crime is an IRL friend of mine, and she read like fucking 60 books or something. Maybe 70 books last year. I read 20 and I was like, I literally am fucking goated. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Listen. I'm pulling out my Goodreads so I can also read my reviews. One thing that I started doing this year, if you want to add me on Goodreads, I am trying to move over to Storygraph, but if you have a Goodreads and you want to add me, it's just the same name, it's Viper. I try to leave really detailed reviews on my books that I read. And by detailed, I mean like more than one sentence, lol. I'm gonna put on lo-fi because I feel like songs with words will get us all like... will get me confused. Okay, Gorgiana. And we can actually turn it down a bit as well. Vipper, what happened? I don't even know that there were friends on Goodreads. Yeah, band, you could follow people and you could add people as friends. I just got a request from T. Real ones read Dogman and Captain Underpants. I never got into Captain Underpants. I was a Junie B. Jones girl myself. I read an unhealthy amount of manga, and in my heart that still counts. It absolutely counts. It absolutely counts. Nose goes on 3. Nice. All right, you guys ready? Let's see. How do I sort this? We don't necessarily need the books to show. Let's go here. I also drafted... I went ahead and drafted categories for our tier rank. So this is what they're gonna be. Where are my notes? Okay. S. S tier is gonna be S, but it's gonna, this is what it is. S, changed the course of my life, masterpiece. I wish that, how about we go change the course of, we'll put that as one word. Masterpiece. Do y'all see that? Ah! I hate this fuck-ass website, man. There you go. So, S tier is like, I'm gonna try my fucking hardest to put things into S and A, like divide them evenly, because I'm not that big of a critic when it comes to books. Like, my average rating this year on Goodreads was a 4, which I think is pretty good. But the difference between S and A is like it actually changed my life. Like, I think about this often, and I would, like, if I was developing a high school curriculum of, like, the best books of all time, it would be in S tier. Do you know what I'm saying? Which means that A is incredible read, and 100% rec. Like, I recommend anybody should... Actually, not anybody should read this, but I do recommend it. Does that make sense? And that's kind of the difference. So there's Changed My Life / Masterpiece, and then Incredible Read, 100% recommended. B tier is good, but I wouldn't read it again. Like, I'm never gonna pick it up. And I don't know if I would suggest it to everybody either. Like, B would be very much like a specific sort of recommendation, if that makes sense. If any of the ACOTAR books are S tier, I'm uninstalling Twitch. None of the ACOTAR books are S tier, Ducky. You're safe here. They might be higher up than you think, but they're not S tier. I thought you were gonna type my wife. I was trying. I read Iron Flame. It was really good. Oh yeah, you guys can see my books. More books than I ever read in my entire life for Vips in 2024 alone. Listen, get yourself a Kindle. Get yourself a Kindle. She changed my life. So this is what made me start reading a lot again. Okay, C tier is gonna be high key a flop, but readable. High key a flop, but readable. And then we're actually gonna need to add an F tier as well. So let's go add a row below. And we'll make this one like gray. This is gonna be F. Okay, D tier is gonna be literally Bunkerella /S. And then F tier is gonna be how the fuck do you spell resuscitate? Do not resuscitate /DNF, or did not finish. So these are the categories that we are working with, today. I think that, does everything look good on the screen? Do you guys need me to move anything around, or is it kind of working? I'm a huge fan of SJM books, but agree on the no S tier. Yeah, I mean, she's not an S tier author. She's phenomenal, but like, she's not an S tier author. Do you know what I'm saying? I love my Kindle hardcore. Jujubee, okay, so for, if you add me on Goodreads, you can see like my past goals. In 2022, I set a goal to read 10 books, right? And I read like 2. And then in 2023, I set a goal to read 15 books. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. And I read like 3. And then I got a Kindle, and it jumped from like 3 to 6, and then it went from 6 to 22. So where's the link for your Goodreads if you're cool with sharing? Yeah, here, let me see. I also really want to make, I've heard Storygraph is like way better, but the reason that I don't have that shit set up is because, here's my link. Because Goodreads is a scam. Okay, sorry, Goodreads, if you're watching, I love you, but actually, no, I fucking don't. Because what's happening is, what's happening with Goodreads that's really pissing me off is, like, you're able to download all of your data, and if you want to transfer over to Storygraph, I have, God, I don't know, I have like 100 books on here, right? I have 100 books on Goodreads, and they all have reviews and stuff. Like, I don't want to go onto another site and one by one review them all and add all of that data in. And so there's a way that you're supposed to technically be able to download your data. And I've requested my data twice now from Goodreads, and they just like won't give it to me. Like, they fucking just will not give it to me. So I'm gonna rage. Storygraph is incredible. Crime, I'm trying so hard to get on that godforsaken site. I might just have to do it manually. Like, I might have to just sit down on like a Saturday evening or something, fucking lit Saturday night plans, and transfer all of my books over manually. I have a Storygraph downloaded too, but I haven't used it fully. I know, I have it downloaded, I just haven't like used it. I never kept up with Goodreads, so I'm just starting over. Lorelai, that's perfect. So you can like go wherever you want, you know? I can't get the import to work for Goodreads. You should be me either. And why? Like, why? Bunkerella is so... Hey, man, I can't stop fucking saying it. I don't know where I got Bunkerella from, but I can't stop. Everything is Bunkerella to me these days. Okay, you guys ready? This stream is gonna get me on my reading grind. I'd be getting easily influenced. Good. Are you guys ready? Do you guys have, Can I do this in the order in which I read them of the year? Because I feel like that's not what they're in now, but that's like, will help me. Is that okay? Or is there like a specific order that you guys want me to do this in? I need to properly fill out my Goodreads. I don't have anything in there from before 2024, and I haven't kept track properly. Ban, if you're gonna put all that effort in, I would recommend moving to Storygraph and doing all of that. For sure. Because if you're gonna put all that effort in, then do it on like the better site. Do you know what I'm saying? For sure. I don't have that much info. I have it from like 2023 on. Your stream, your methods. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So, the first book I read, the first book, let me say I attempted to read in 2024 was Haunting Adeline. So this book right here. Haunting Adeline. Let me see if I can find a description. I'll pull up my Goodreads review. I don't even think I gave it one because I DNF'd it. So I'll just pull up a description. Haunting Adeline is part of this series called the Cat and Mouse series. It's about this like fucking stalker, okay? And a trigger warning as well. This is an 18 plus stream. We're gonna be talking about 18 plus topics. Some of these books have themes of like themes and direct like aspects of SA or I'll give warnings prior to every book. This book is massive red flag trigger warning on themes and direct circumstances and instances of SA and things in that category. Basically, it's about this stalker who infiltrates this woman's life. It's like it's called the Cat and Mouse series. And she like gets into this Stockholm syndrome situation. It's a dark, yeah, what you said, it's a dark romance. But this was so fucking ass. Okay, I love a smut situation. I love a dark romance. I love like a thriller. And that's what it was like. This is what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a thriller. I thought it was gonna be a romance novel. I thought it was gonna be like this erotic, like fucking dark literature piece. It was so shit, man. It was so bad. And the reason I didn't like it was, one, I honestly thought it was written terribly, like if I'm just gonna be honest. But the second thing was like it took it too far. Like for me, it took it too far. If this is your cup of tea, I'm not like yucking your yum or whatever. I don't know where the yum is, but I'm not yucking your yum. But this was like way too much for me, which is shocking. So for me, this was like the first book I tried reading in the year, and it was a straight up DNF. I did not finish that shit. I probably made it about 25% of the way through. There's like this one thing that happens, like basically the stalker and her make contact for the first time, and I was like, what the fuck am I reading? I literally, as I read this book, I thought I was going to be put on a watch list. Like, that's where we're at. I DNF'd it too. I can take dark romance in the stalking, but it was so off. The Ritual I also tried and did not get far. The Ritual and Haunting Adeline are supposed to have like the same vibe in that way. I hated it. Like, I truly did not like it at all. My sister-in-law said the same thing about The Ritual. I'm gonna try it. I heard so much bad shit about Haunting, and this is the thing, right? Like, again, if this is y'all's vibe, like, I'm not trying to. My goal here is that you read. My goal here is that you read a book. Also, sorry, I'm just gonna shrink this a bit because I feel like we're not gonna be able to see everything. So that's it. That's all I want. But this was too much for me. For fluffy stalker vibes, read Lights Out. It was a fun listen. Ooh, I haven't heard of that one before. Highly recommend the audiobook for Lights Out. Okay, I'll write that down. I'll have to do these reminders. But yeah, it was a rough start to 2024 for me on my reading journey because I had set a goal to read 15 books this year or last year, and I started off with this book, and I thought I was really like in this era of just reading a lot of like thriller and suspense novels because I find those to be really easy to read. And if you are in a reading slump and you haven't read in years or whatever and you're wanting to get back into it, like, my personal suggestion is to start with a thriller or a suspense novel because that's what tends to work for me really well. And that's why I was like, okay, let me do this one, you know, like it might work out in my favor. And I just like did not finish it. I did not like it at all. I'm which is so sad. But then we moved on to a book that I did finish. So my first like official read of the year was My Dark Vanessa, which is this book over here. I'll put another trigger warning on this book. This is a trigger warning around grooming and SA as well. This book was, let me kind of give a description. So basically, My Dark Vanessa is a novel about a girl named Vanessa who is like a kind of in like a naive teenage phase. She's like a naive teenage girl, and she gets into a relationship with a manipulative and apparently charismatic teacher. So kind of like a it's like almost like Lolita themed, but it's about a student teacher dynamic. And it kind of journeys her story from when she sort of entered that relationship with her teacher as a student to like 20 years after the fact, and explores like how it changed her life and how it impacted her and how it impacted her outlook on like love and herself. And this book is dark. It's in the Jordan, the timing. Jordan, thank you for the resub. Thank you for the 6 months. That is so crazy. Congratulations on horse. The timing is fucking crazy. Oh dear God. Jordan, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay, so going back to the book, it chronicles basically this woman and her life growing up as a teenager who was groomed by her teacher and then kind of exited that relationship and like how her life develops and stuff. It's in the name. This book is extremely dark. And it is also extremely fucking good. It's such a good book. The author who writes it, her name is Kate Russell. She's brilliant. I think she does a really good job of really carefully handling like a predatory relationship between a teacher and a 15-year-old. Like there's no good way to do it. And there's no easy way to do it, rather, is what I'm trying to say. And Kate does a really good job, I think. Especially because she really focuses in on the character Vanessa and doesn't really give that much power or time to that predatory teacher. And she kind of highlights a couple of different, like, one thing about like Lolita or certain stories like that, I feel like they can get insensitive because they put so much emphasis on like the predator in that situation. Thank you for that follow, welcome in. I think they put too much emphasis on the actual predator in those situations, and I think one thing that this person did really well, this author did really well, is she didn't do that so much. And so my review on Goodreads for this, I didn't actually write a review. I hadn't started it in the year yet. I gave it a 4.7, which for me would be an A. It's an incredible read, and I 100% recommend it. And the reason it's not an S tier is because I thought that the end of the book kind of dragged on a little bit. Like, I don't know how to kind of describe it, but it felt like it felt like it dragged on. And the story could have probably ended 30 pages further back than it did. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really feel like I got much in the last bit, so it felt like the impact of the book sort of wore off at that point, but I do really think that it's worth reading, especially if you are reflective about that type of topic. It would be a really good book to read. And sometimes also, like, I don't know if you guys are like me, but sometimes I just do really need to read like a dark sort of book that touches on a topic like that to sort of break up, which you'll see some of like the fun, more like less serious stuff I read. But that was the first book that I actually read. I actually finished it. And after reading that, I was like, okay, I need something like the complete opposite of this because that shit was way too serious. And so the next book I read in the year was Fourth Wing, which is this book right here. And that is by Rebecca Yarros. A lot of you might have heard of this one. It's something in a series called the Empyrean series. Fourth Wing is about a girl named Violet who lives in this like world where when you get to a certain age, you have to like go to a school and you either become a scholar, a like medicinal sort of apothecary person, or a dragon rider. And this woman, Violet, she's like, bitch, put me in the library because I want to be like a library girl, okay? Whatever the fuck that's called, a librarian, a scholar, whatever they call it in the book. And that's what her dad did, and that's like what she's there for. And ultimately her mom's like, no, fuck you. you're gonna become a dragon rider. And and it chronicles her story. The one thing, it's like a romantasy. This is 100%, Fourth Wing is 100% a romantasy because it's a fantasy novel. But it has a really strong romance line going through it with a main character called Zayden, which I won't talk much about because I don't want to spoil a lot. But TLDR, it kind of chronicles her journey in this fucking dragon school. Oh, Ghost, I'm so sorry. I have an English only chat, so I do have to delete that. T, thank you so much. But if you would like to chat, the reason I have an English only chat is because I can't understand what you're saying if it's not in English, so. T, thank you. Gotta go pick up a few things at my brother's and heading home. Talk to you later. German is better? Alright, Ghost. I don't speak German, King. So, bye, Ghost, by the way. Fuck, Ghost! Ghost got my train of thought all fucked up. Hello? Damn it, what was I saying? Fourth Wing, romantasy, whatever. Got it. Want to know what that translated to? Oh my god. Do you want to put it in, maybe you want to put it in the mod chat in Discord? You left off at Zayden? Okay, yeah, right. So it chronicles this girl, and her journey at school, and the one thing that I really liked about this book in particular, because it is a romantasy, like, you're not going to take it too serious, it's kind of in the same vein as ACOTAR, except the thing that I thought was really cool about it was she made that main character, Violet, pretty unique. Like, Violet has some sort of chronic illness that, like, basically anytime she does anything, I don't know why I'm laughing, but, like, her bones will just snap. Like, she has really snappable bones. If you translated this text, you have wasted your time. Fuck off. It's not bad. I'm sorry for banning him then, but he did waste my time, I fear. He got me for real. Damn it. Should I unban him? I'm not unbanning him. Yeah, shorty week. Violet has like snappable bones, and I think that's like a unique thing to do. I think that the author Rebecca took like a fun approach to it, because rather than being like, one thing that you'll see in like all of these like romantasy or like common fantasy novels these days is the main character is like this invincible badass bitch, and it's like, what are y'all talking about? Like, what are y'all on about for real? How did you find like this perfect person? That's one of the issues I have wrong. Like, one of the things with ACOTAR that like screws me up is that the main character in that book, she's like seemingly perfect, but in Fourth Wing, she's like not. You know, she has a chronic illness, she has a like disability, and it's fun to see a character that actually is real in that way. So that's like one of the things I really liked about it. My rating for Fourth Wing was a 4.2. I said the writing was definitely cheesy at times, but I liked it more than I thought I would. It's like very self-explanatory. This is like in the beginning of my when I started writing reviews and stuff. And that's like exactly how I would consider it. I thought the story was really fun. I could not put that shit down, but the writing was 100% cheesy. They call her Violence a lot. It was just cheesy, man. It's just a cheesy book. But sometimes you want to read like a cheesy, fun, romantasy vibe. And honestly, if you are looking for a book that you will not be able to fucking put down, Fourth Wing is that book. Like, Fourth Wing is that book, no matter who you are. Even my partner, who is like my partner reads fucking history for fun. Like, yesterday while I was reading Trust of the Emerald Sea, he was reading fucking the history of South Asia. Okay? And I had him read Fourth Wing, and he was like, oh, this is tea. Like, this is tea. This is kind of good. So if you are in a reading slump and you want to kind of get into the romantasy genre, I do recommend Fourth Wing. I thought it was pretty good. But just know you're not going to be reading a masterpiece. You're not going to be reading a fucking, beautiful piece of literature. It's just like a really good book. It's just a good book. So Fourth Wing is B tier for me. I think when I first started doing tier lists, so when I started streaming, I used to do these tier lists, and I think I put it at A. And the reason I say it's B is that it is exactly good, but I wouldn't read again. Because it is good. I actually would recommend it. Not 100% recommend it, but I would recommend it. The thing with Fourth Wing, though, is I wouldn't read it again, and I know that because the third in the series is coming out in 2 weeks. It's called Onyx Storm, and I'm super fucking excited about it. But I was debating rereading the other books to like prepare myself, and I'm like, I will find a YouTube video. Like, I have no desire to read them again. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's exactly B. It's good, but I wouldn't read it again. Except a literate crime. Also by T. Unexpectedly good world building for a book like that. Banned, exactly. Like, you get sucked into the world in Fourth Wing. You really do. And like, you can shit on this all day. Like, a lot of people would say that maybe it's like a book talk book or whatever, or whatever. It's good though. Like, it's just a good book. It was a fun read. I really enjoyed it. I did not want to put this shit down. And when I would go to sleep, I would have dreams of the university in this book, you know? Like, I felt like I could see it. I felt like I was fucking there. Do you know what I'm saying? And I love that. You need that sometimes. Because when you read, like, a My Dark Vanessa, you need a book that you can just be at Dragon University. Like, and, like, live and just read a fun book like that. So, I would 60% recommend this. Maybe not everybody would like it, but I would recommend it. Also, is it Sana? Welcome in. Hi, how are you? The author in chat right now. I think this is a very good, a 4.2. Like, I think that's like a good rating and a good position on this list, in my opinion. It was so cheesy, but I absolutely loved it. Exactly. And that's like literally what my review said. I have a good history book to recommend him. Flippy, you should put it in Discord because he will see that. My boss has a Chihuahua mix that's pretty grouchy named Violet, and I call her Violent sometimes because of Fourth Wing. Lorelai, are you excited? Or anyone? I know Bayend has read the Fourth Wing series, and like Lorelai, you have as well. Are you guys excited for Onyx Storm? Because I actually really am. Like, I think Bayend said this in Discord, but it's been a really long time for me personally that like I've been reading a series where a new book actually comes out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this hasn't happened to me since like I didn't even do it with Harry Potter. Like, this hasn't happened to me since, like, Percy Jackson, maybe? Or I don't even know. Was Percy Jackson too late? Twilight? Like, it's the first time in a long time where I'm like, I'm so excited for this book. And if there was a bookstore low-key, like, near me, I would go. I would go for that. Because I think that energy... I used to work at a movie theater, and the energy at a movie theater and the energy at a bookstore the night of a drop or a premiere is the same, and it's like that type of fucking really nerdy, ambitious, it's like such nerdy energy that I love. It's like crack to me. Like, I love it. And I was kind of thinking like Crime, if you're still in here, or Felony, or like maybe you, me, and Felony could go to a bookstore and get the book like opening night or something. I hope you're having the bestest day. Thank you. That's so sweet. I hope you're having a lovely day too, Sana. The biggest beef I see is that the author uses Gaelic words for stuff and then absolutely mispronounces them. Lorelai, I've seen those interviews and they're so fucking funny. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know how to pronounce any of the words, but what's that dragon's name? I almost called his ass Tachycardia. His name is not Tachycardia. But whatever his name is, like, apparently she, like, botches that. Let's do it. I think it'd be fun. Okay, Crime, I will text you after stream. I'm so pumped. I got book 3 pre-ordered. Let's go, Jujubee. I have a super mega giant Barnes & Noble near me. I'm going to... Oh my god. Okay, I need to get this plan. Yes, that one. Tachycardia. Yeah, I don't know how to say that. I don't know how I was saying it when I was reading it. Oh, Flippy, oh my god, I just called you Flippy. Crazy. Vicious, that'd be awesome if you could send that. Okay, right after I read Fourth Wing, I moved on to the second in the series, which is Iron Flame. This one right here. So, Iron Flame is a continuation. It's a direct sequel of Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing leaves off on a pretty large twist, which I won't say. But the story of Iron Flame is basically, it follows Violet in like her years basically as an upperclassman now at this university. So the first 2 years follow her as like an underclassman, and Iron Flame follows her as an upperclassman and kind of expands more on the world building. Actually, not even kind of. It absolutely expands on the world building. It's a huge book. It's like 900 pages. It does not feel like that, though. It really doesn't. It expands on the sort of war that's happening outside of the university. So the university is almost like this protected bubble. It's giving very much like the opposite of Hogwarts. Like, you know, in Harry Potter, like Hogwarts is where shit always goes fucking wrong, and like things are like always like, you know, that there's massive trouble happening because shit's always at Hogwarts. This is like the opposite. Like, that school is very protected and kind of like ignorant to what's going on around them, because like the teachers and the people there are very protective of the students and like don't want them to know anything about like the real world. And so Iron Flame kind of is really based in the real world. You have a little bit in the university, but you spend a lot of the time outside of the university. So that part of this book was really fun because you get to see like, yeah, they're sheltered, exactly, band. You get to see like more of this. It's called the Empyrean series. You get to see more of like the Empyrean world, which I thought was really cool. And like I said, it's a massive book. It's 900 pages, but it doesn't feel like that. And this one I gave a solid 4. So actually, I thought this one to be a little less. I found this to be a little less enjoyable than the first one. I wrote for my description. I said, or my review rather. I said that the dialogue was less cringe, but at times this story was nonsensical. It got me looking up Reddit theories after I read the book. Another solid 4. I don't know what's happening to me. The reason I said I don't know what's happening to me is because I thought I would hate these books, and I really actually enjoyed them. And I think 4 is like a really good rating. I mean, I'm rating them out of 5. So I gave it a 4. The dialogue was 100% less cheesy in this, but I also feel like maybe I was immune to it because I had just read Fourth Wing, so I was like already in the world, and I went from Fourth Wing directly into Iron Flame, so like maybe I was like brainwashed into it or whatever. But I did think that overall it was less cringe. And it was like plus 0.1 for extra freakiness. This one was like 10% more smutty for sure. Maybe 25% more smutty than the first one. So if you're into that, you'd really like it. Actually, I'm gonna say it was a full like 40% more smutty than the first one. Like, for sure. There's like this scene with the throne. If you know, you know. But which I enjoyed. Like, I fucked with that. I like that part of the book. But the thing that I thought was really interesting was it did a really good job of making me want to fucking learn more. Like I said, I was straight up looking up Reddit theories. And to get me on Reddit, okay, is something crazy. Like, to get my ass on Reddit looking up theories is something fucking crazy. And this book did it. I remember finishing the book, closing it, picking up my phone and putting in Iron Flame theories and just reading them for like 2 hours after I finished the book. Which is awesome because Onyx Storm, like I said, is coming out. It's the 3rd book in this series. It's coming out in 2 weeks. And like, I have theories, okay? And if any of y'all have theories and you want to discuss them, put them in my book channel in Discord. You can just use like the little spoiler tag so you don't actually say what they are for people who might want to read the books. But I have some theories. So I would put this right underneath Fourth Wing. There'll probably be some books for sure in between them, but I wouldn't put it in C because I don't think it was a flop. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good book. But again, I wouldn't read it again because the next book is coming out in 2 weeks. I am going to do a little skim because I want to remember what my theories were. I actually low-key wish I annotated it, but yeah, I liked it. I do that with almost every book, low-key, or just reading other people's thoughts. I love reading the reviews. Some books just don't like have theories, but I do love reading people's reviews. Hi, Yin. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate that. You guys, you know what's crazy about doing these? I forget to breathe. I forget to breathe. Kitty kitty meow meow. Thank you for the daily. I appreciate you. I love the ACOTAR universe series, like the whole Massverse. I'm about to start Throne of Glass, which I heard is better than ACOTAR, but okay. So after I read the Empyrean series, so Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, I was like, I need to get out of Romantasy land. And I like to do this with my reading, so you'll see a pattern. Like, I read my Dark Vanessa, which is like a fictional, really heavy book. And then I was like, I need a romantasy. And then I read a romantasy and I'm like, okay, I need to read something completely different. And so then I moved over to a autobiography or a nonfiction book by none other than Michelle Zauner from Japanese Breakfast, which is Crying in H Mart. I'll talk about this book next. I just read a chapter of Mexican Gothic. I'll start with at least a chapter a day and amp up. I'm at 19 out of 20. Oh my god, you're almost there, Matsume. The plot twists at the end of that book are crazy, in my opinion. Feel free to send me your thoughts as you read Tog. It's my favorite of the three series. You guys actually gifted me the books, some of them. I have the first 3, I think. I put them on my throne, and you guys bought them for me, so thank you so much. But I have not yet started them. I'm going to start them soon. So, Crying in H Mart is it's an autobiography by Michelle Zauner. I don't know if y'all have heard of Japanese Breakfast, but it's a really good band, and the lead in it is Michelle Zauner. She's a Korean American, and Crying in H Mart is basically her story about being a Korean American, and sort of dealing with the loss of her mom. So you love Japanese Breakfast, Vague, you should read this book. Because the lead of that is the person who writes this. So her mom passes away, and she sort of writes this book as a reflection and an ode to her, and sort of explores her entire life from childhood to like current day as being a Korean American. And it really goes into how she had to sort of explore and create a new identity for herself after her mom died. And like, this actually makes me want to cry. Why am I getting emo? You could probably already tell where this book is going. As like a first generation Asian American, this book like fucked me up, like in so many ways. Especially because I'm also a mommy's girl, so it was like the fucking worst thing to happen to me, but also the best thing to happen to me. Because I just related to like every page. It was fucking crazy. Everything she said like was so poignant and made me feel so like seen, to be honest. And she would like say these things in this book that I had thought or felt before, but never put words to or never like put an emotion to. And that was like a really wild experience for me, because sometimes you like, you know that thing where it's like you don't know what you don't know. That's how I felt reading this book. It's like, oh, I didn't realize that's what that feeling was, or I didn't realize that's why I was feeling this way. And yeah, so my review for this book was: I cried, I smiled, I cried, I related, I yearned, and I cried. It was a mirror into the Asian American experience that I run parallel with. And I gave it a 5 stars. This book changed the course of my life and is a masterpiece. I fucking love this book. You should add it to your list to read. It's really good. I don't think that you need to be Asian American to find something in this book, because it's not just about that. Like, it's about her Korean American identity, sure, but her love for her mom, her love for her dad, her love-hate relationship with her family, exploring high school, creating her own path, like wanting to be an artist in New York City when like New York City does not really allow you to do that very easily. Like, it's just a fucking crazy book. Everyone could open this book and find something that they relate to. And also, it got me wanting to try like 5 other Korean dishes that I'd never heard of. So phenomenal book. I really enjoyed it. Changed the course of my life. Masterpiece. 10 out of 10. No notes. Makes me want to cry. I almost cried about it talking about it now. Also, fuck ads. You guys, I'm so sorry. I'll do a pause on the book talk. 123rd in line on Livy. Let's go. That's on my to read list for a long time. Vicious and Vague. Definitely, when you get a chance, read this book. It's really good. And also, it's like hard to find an autobiography that isn't annoying. There's like 3 autobiographies that I've really liked. One of them is Crying in H Mart. The other is a book called Educated by Tara Westover. I didn't read that this year. I would love to talk about it, but I didn't read it this year. And that one is insane. It's insane, but we can talk about it another time. While this break happens, I'm gonna do a little stretch and chug some water. Also, if you guys have notes on like the speed or anything at which I'm talking, or if I'm not going into detail enough, please let me know, because I haven't done one of these book review things in a while, and I just don't know. I'm in my head a little bit. Okay, be right back. I could steal this idea from you with both movies. Matsume, that'd be fun. I'd love to watch you do, tier rank movies that you watched last year. Because you also, like, what did you use? Letterbox? So you have, like, all of your notes and shit as well. That'd be fun. Okay. Next book. Also, if you guys have questions about these books or anything, let me know. I feel like I'm just yapping at you. I don't want it to be boring. I don't know why I'm so in my fucking head about this stream. Okay, after crying in H Mart, I moved on to a thriller. The first thriller of the year after the flop that was Haunting Adeline's dumbass, whack-ass, hoe-ass. And that was called Never Lie by Frida McFadden. This is another book talk-ass book, okay? It's a book talk-ass author. If y'all have a Kindle and you have Kindle Unlimited, Frida McFadden is like a big Kindle Unlimited author. She usually has like at least 1 or 2 books on the list of accessible books. Frida McFadden, you might also know her from, there's a book called The Housemaid. There's the Housemaid series, which is like that blue book with the keyhole cover. I read that as well. She's really popular for that. And I had read The Housemaid and I thought it was okay. You got it on Kindle Unlimited, and I just wanted to read something silly and stupid after crying in H Mart because that book like emotionally destroyed me. So I was like, let me read a thriller, go back to my roots. Picked up Never Lie by Frida McFadden. I think it was also on Kindle Unlimited at that time. Whack ass hoe ass. It was listen, and you'll know why. Not me loving a book by Frida McFadden, not it being The Housemaid. If you like The Housemaid, you might fuck with this, but this is my issue with The Housemaid. But let me Never Lie. Let me describe what it is about first. So Never Lie. Just read my review for this book. Never Lie is about 2 newlyweds, Trisha and Ethan, who are searching for a new house. They want to move into a new house. And they go to this house in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, UK. I think they're in Ireland or something. And it's literally in the middle of fucking nowhere. And they go to tour this house, and they get snowed in, and they can't leave. So they have to stay at the house. And the person that was supposed to give them the house tour, she never came. So it's just these two in this old, creaky fucking house. And it follows them in this snowstorm. They're stuck in here. It's a Frida McFadden book, so there's like 9 different twists in this book. And the first 3 were really good. And the last 6 were so dumb. they were so dumb. And the premise of this book, like, I'm thinking back to the book and I'm like, damn, it could have worked. Like, this could have worked so well. but it just didn't. And my review for this book was literally, this was bad and truly did not make sense. 1.5 stars. Like, the reason that this isn't 0 stars is because it had a book. It had a front. It had a back. And it had pages in between. This is the definition of literally Bunkerella. I got read for filth. No, Masame. Because here's the thing. Never Lie, I gave 1 star. The Housemaid, I gave 3. The Housemaid, I gave 3 stars. A whole 2 stars more than this fuck-ass book. I don't know what Frida McFadden was thinking, but it didn't make sense. Like, every single time she would reveal a twist in this book, there was like 8 plot holes that someone who didn't even read the fucking book could tell you was a plot hole. Like, I'm being so dead ass. Frida McFadden, she just wrote. And I love that she did that. Like, I think she's so slay for that. I appreciate the fact that she was like, you know what? I'm just going to put things on pages and publish this book and get my bag. It's going to be on Amazon fucking Kindle Unlimited anyway. Like, whatever. But she should have put the pen down. This was Bunkerella. This was ass. This was so bad. And there's nothing that will take you out of a thriller in particular than a plot hole. Like, isn't your job to not have those? Like, I fear that's your job. You fucking, it was bad. This might have been the worst book I read outside of Haunting Adeline, which is the Do Not Resuscitate. I did not finish that book. She pumps out too many of these, they're gonna drop sharply in quality. Matsume, that's exactly what it is. And it's like, girl, you have such cool ideas. Like, again, the plot of this book is literally so cool. 2 newlyweds getting trapped at a house. Like, that sounds awesome. That sounds like you could go gothic with it, okay? You could do some sort of Crimson Peak situation, fucking even Nosferatu. You could, like, have, like, a really eerie, cool situation, but it goes from this, like, potential ghost story to, like, it goes to, like, really eerie, potential ghost story, really fucking sick-ass plot to if you put 6 plot twists on pieces of paper, cut them up, shuffled them in front of someone, and was like, pick one. And then did that like 5 times. Like, the things that she would say at the end of this book, the plots that the direction she would go, it was honestly wild. It was so bad. It was so bad. Anyway, after I read that bunk-ass book, moving on, I was like, let's go back to romantasy. Because I had just read Fourth Wing Iron Flame. I needed a break. We went to Crying in H Mark. I was like, okay, I cannot cry anymore. Let's read a thriller. I said, fuck this. We're going to go back to romantasy. I will say, though, this series that I'm going to talk about, it's not really a romantasy. It's just a fantasy series with a very soft romance line in it. So if you're into romantasy, like smut type of shit, this isn't that. But it's fucking good. And that is, The Folk of Air. You guys have heard me yap nonce. If you're in my Discord, I talk about this book all the time. I'd be recommending it to anybody who will listen. It's the Cruel Prince trilogy. You would think that this would be like a smutty romantasy situation. And that's honestly why I picked this book, like, to opened it up and read it, because I had just read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I was like, okay, girl, let me try something similar. We picked up The Cruel Prince. The Cruel Prince, like, okay, Cruel Prince, you know? I thought it was gonna be like a dark romantasy. No. Wrong. This book, okay, let me tell you what it is first. Let me tell you what it's about. So basically, The Cruel Prince, this first book, is about a woman named Jude. And for the first like for the first 7 years of her life, she grows up in like the human world, okay? So she grows up in the human world, whatever. And then one day her ass gets kidnapped and taken to the Fae world. So this is a book about Fae, and it's not like Fae in a book talk fantasy way. It's like Fae, like ugly, like they're green and have tails and weird teeth and cracked skin, which I love. That's my type of Fae. I fucking love that shit. And she gets kidnapped and taken back and basically gets raised by the guy who kidnaps her. I can't really say much about that. And she gets raised as his, what's it called? not like a foster child. You know, when you have someone, whatever, she gets raised by him, and also her sister's with her too. So her sister is with her. And the big thing too is like the person who kidnapped her, it wasn't just like a yeehaw, I'm gonna kidnap you. Like when he kidnapped her, he also like killed her parents. So he came to the human world, yeeted her parents off of the planet, took the 2 kids, and brought them to Fae world. And the book jumps 10, 11 years to when Jude is 18 years old and about to move on to the, you know, next part of her life. She's done with like Fae high school or whatever the fuck. And she wants to become like a knight. She wants to be like a soldier. And her, how would I say it? The person who kidnapped her is like, no, you can't do that. And she's like, I'm gonna do that. And she basically wants to win a place at court. So she has to like defy everybody. And this book is crazy. One of the things I liked about this book is I went into it thinking it was going to be a fuck-ass romantasy, which I do love, but it was much more serious than that. The author of this book, what's her name? Holly Black, is a brilliant writer. I absolutely love how she writes. She's a strong writer. Like, you read this book and you're like, you know what the fuck you're doing. It's not, in the same way when I talked about Iron Flame and Fourth Wing, I said it's cringe. The writing in this is not cringe. Holly Black is a writer that you wish that you could write like her. She's brilliant. The world building is gorgeous. The way she captures you, the way she describes things is brilliant. The way that you want to never put the book down is incredible. And it's not a romantasy. It has a really soft romance line in it, but it's a empowerment story about a fucking woman who is paving her way and making herself like a viable option, like in an entire world where she's never even been an option or considered herself to have like any choice. She kind of takes that back. And also the way that it's true to Fae, like, I'm so sick of all of these romantasy books and all of these fantasy books and all of this shit, like, making Fae cute and hot. Like, Fae are not cute and hot. Fae are supposed to be ugly motherfuckers. They're supposed to be green and gashy with teeth, and they stink, and they're gross, and they're ugly, and they're weird. And the Cruel Prince brings that back. So, make Fae ugly again, and she did. And I loved it. And they're, like, evil and grimy, and I just love it, right? And I thought this was a really good book. I actually have that in A tier. So it's above Iron Flame and Fourth Wing. I will read you my description. I said, it is a 4.4. At times, the story took me out with so many references to the real world, but I understand the importance in the comparison there. Also, I'm just gonna be real, Jude annoyed me a smidge in this one. I love a power-hungry woman, but the dialogue seems so basic. Like, I want power just isn't enough. And that, I will say, is my critique. That's why it's a 4.4 and not like a whatever, right? Like, actually, you know what? My review just made me bump that down. It's B. It's good. It's good, but I wouldn't read it again. And I would, but like, do you know what I'm saying? The reason it's not going to be an A incredible read is because the dialogue was basic in this. Like, we were trying to establish Jude as being really power hungry, and she just kept saying, I want power, I want power. It's like, girl, why? Like, can you tell us why you would like power? I forgot that I wrote that. So it's B tier, but high B tier, above Iron Flame Fourth Wing, probably the highest B tier can go. I bought the trilogy already, it's on the list. All the non-spoiler reviews I've read speak highly of the writing itself, since a lot of other modern fantasy struggles there. Exactly, band. That's like 100%. That's what I agree. Like, Holly Black is a strong writer. I love the way she world builds. I love everything about it. And while this one is in B, I immediately moved on to read the second one, which is The Wicked King. And in the series, in the trilogy, this is by far my favorite. So, The Wicked King picks up on the story of Jude, which I can't elaborate on too much because I don't want to spoil what happens in The Cruel Prince. But in The Wicked King, Jude is like now in a position of power of sorts, and it follows her journey sort of navigating that power. It picks up, you know, in the first book where she's like, I want power, I want power. This book is like, she has it, so how is she gonna use it? What is she gonna do? And this book is so fucking good. And for a couple of reasons. Again, the romance picks up here a little bit. So if you're a girly who likes romance, you will like this one a little bit more naturally, because there's a little bit like will they, won't they, enemies to lovers going on, which that is what's happening in this series, by the way. It's an enemies to lovers situation. It's still not the point of the book, like, at all, and it's not about that. And the reason I really like The Wicked King, because it was like the perfect balance for me in that will they, won't they, enemies to lovers situation. Like, that thread was in the background while you had this incredible fucking major plotline story of basically scheming. Like, this book is on their scheming shit. It's very political. It's very like if how would I describe it? Like, if you have seen Game of Thrones, if you know Tyrion Lannister, or like Littlefinger, like, it's very much like it's like if Littlefinger wrote a book. It's so fucking good. I love the scheming in this, and there is a scene in this book, in The Wicked King, that has made me feel ways that I have never felt. Like, actually, I felt it once before. The way that there's a scene in this book, without going in too much into spoilers, that is like on par with the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones. So if you have seen the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones, you know. If you haven't, I don't know how to describe it to you. It's like one of the most brutal, fucking insane scenes in television history and book history. And The Wicked King has a Red Wedding, if not in more intense than the Red Wedding fucking scene, that I like had to put the book down and sit there in silence for like an hour. And then I reread it. And that is so rare for me, to be reading a book and to read a chapter and then to be like, oh fuck, I have to read that chapter again. Like, I have to read it again. And I did, because it's fucking crazy. It's like scheming, fucking politics, fantasy politics, scheming, Red Wedding fucking shit. Sorry, I don't even know how to describe it. It literally was one of the best scenes that I think I've read all year when it comes to fantasy. This was by far and wide the best fantasy book I read in this genre of the year. And my review for this was, I gave it a 4.8. So I gave the last book, The Cruel Prince, a 4.4, which is why it's in B tier. The Wicked King, I gave a 4.8. That's like basically 5 stars. I said, this is even better than the first. The writing in this leveled up, even though Holly Black was really strong in the first. The world expansion was incredible. The politics were wild. The plot twist had me shook, and the romantic elements were so tasteful. Also, Jude's desire for power felt less cringe. Insane. Fucking sane book. Like, thinking about it makes me want to read it again. This is top of A. It's even better. I 100% recommend this book. To get to this book, you have to read this book. But reading this book to get to this book is 10,000, 5,000, 6,000% worth it. Like, I can't even begin to tell you. It's just so good. It just did something to me. Okay? It just did something to me. It changed my idea of how fantasy could be. Especially coming from Fourth Wing. And I'm representing the girlies who don't fucking read, okay? Because 2024, again, was a year that I read far more than I ever have. In years, okay? In years. I went from not reading fucking anything to reading all the time in 2024. And I think The Wicked King has to be, yeah, it's just crazy. You just have to read this book. If you're in a reading slump, read this series. Like, please. I've been lurking, but I'm reading the Tog series right now, and I'm really enjoying it. Oh my god, I need to start that. I'm waiting, because right now I'm reading Brandon Sanderson, Trusted Emerald Sea, and then I have a Holly Black book to read, and then I'm gonna read the new... Oh, I want to read The Life of Something of Addie LaRue. It came out on Kindle Unlimited. And then I want to read the new Empyrean Fourth Wing Iron Flame book that comes out January 20th, I think. And then I want to read Tog. That's like my list right now. Valky, you should be a reading girly and start with the Cruel Prince trilogy, please. I need the TOG audiobooks. I love people who love audiobooks. I can't do it because they're too slow for me. Like I'd have to 2 times speed it, but the only audiobook that I read this year, listened to this year, whatever, was Julia Fox's memoir, which I actually forgot to put on here, but that's okay. What Kindle do you guys have? I have a Fire tablet, but the bitch is huge. Matsume, I have... What is this one? This is the Paperwhite. Is there anything doxing on here? No. This is the Kindle Paperwhite. It's the one with dark mode, which is very important. And she's literally, I could hold her with a finger. She's not big at all. She's so small. I love her. My partner got the series for me for Christmas. I've been flying through it so far. Nose goes, I love that. I need to get there. Maybe I'll bump it up in the TBR. It's the way that all I want to do is read right now, but I have so many chores to do before I can. Shabby, we can all read after this. Nobody leave me yet, though. I'm still tier ranking books. Please. Okay. This brings us to the final book in this trilogy, which is called The Queen of Nothing. So you have The Cruel Prince, which is number 1, The Wicked King, which is book number 2, and then The Queen of Nothing, which is book number 3. This is getting a little bit harder to describe because I really don't want to ruin the series, especially after I just 150% recommended The Wicked King. But The Queen of Nothing is it's still following Jude, so it follows the same character, Jude. Except this one, if the first one is about wanting power, and the second book is about acquiring power, the third book is about losing it. If that makes sense. So it follows Jude wanting it, getting it, losing it. And she loses it in this one, and it's really fun. It's really fucking fun to see her, the Queen of Nothing. It's fun to see her lose it all. And it's really fun to see how she overcomes that and how it really devastates the fantasy world that they live in. Like how the Fae handle it, how like the repercussions of it on like a societal level is really fun. I liked this book. Except it was my least favorite of the 3. So I said for my review on this one, I said that it was a solid 4. It was good, but it felt rushed, which I do believe. I think this book could have been 2. This could have easily been 2 books. And that's what I wrote. I said it was a solid 4. It was good, but it felt rushed. This could have easily been 2 books, embezzled with more detail and helping us to even clearer see the schemes. Because the one thing that The Queen of Nothing does really well, I'm smiling talking about The Wicked King because it actually is that good. The Wicked King has schemes, levels in which you wouldn't even, like, I've always wanted to be Tyrion Lannister, okay? There's some fucking tea. If there was one character that I could be, it'd be Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones. And so the scheming in The Wicked King has me giggling and kicking my feet. I love a little fucking plan. I love a little master plan, bitch. I love a little, like, fingers together, like, that type of shit. And The Queen of Nothing does more of those schemes, and it just could have been so much more. I actually think it was just too short. So giving that a 4, I would put it like above Iron Flame in between Fourth Wing. So definitely better than Iron Flame, just because this book is just fucking good. I think Fourth Wing is a little bit like hee hee ha ha, still better. And then The Cruel Prince. Wicked King 4.8 fucking 8. Hi, Mick, it's good to see you. Hello, hello. How is the rest of your stream? Or are you still streaming? Either way, hello. We're tier ranking all the books I read in 2024. If anyone doesn't know Mick, you should. Really cool streamer. And let me give you a shout out. And also a massive reader. So, right now reading Brandon Sanderson. I'm on my first Brandon Sanderson book right now. I think Mick is reading... I forgot. But she loves Brandon Sanderson, so. It's in my Amazon cart. Which one, Matsume? This? The series? Matsume, please. Matsume, please tell me this is in your Amazon cart. I know I can't do audiobook. I can't do audiobooks because it's too slow. They're too slow for me. So if I forgot, I don't know what you were laughing at, but not to interrupt your flow, but what software are you using? Nose goes, what do you mean? For the tier rank? I'm just, actually, well, let me, what do you mean? Software for what? You can speed them up, but then it sounds weird. Like I've been watching TikToks on 2 times speed recently, and I've forgotten how people actually speak. Do you know like, do you know what I'm saying? Like then when I have to like watch something on regular speed, I'm like, what the fuck? Which is why I feel like right now, and please let me know, I feel like I'm talking too fast, and I know that I am because I keep getting out of breath. I'm like not taking fucking breaks to breathe. So if you need me to like slow down or whatever, let me know. I watch a lot of YouTube. Yeah, me too. I'm a 2 times speed girl, and I need to chill out with it because it's like depleting my ability to focus to regular speed, to regular IRL speed. I started painting. I was like, okay, I need to go and do something productive. I feel that, but I'm glad it was good. I watched Jess and she would literally stop and gasp for breath. She talks so fast. I relate. I relate. This whole stream has been me like, da, 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 and then being like, but it's been fun. I miss doing these. So, okay, that's a folk of air. This is to put a little like, to put a little pin in this, a little note, a final whatever. This was by far and wide, no questions asked, like the best trilogy, best fantasy series I have read. I had read in 2024. Like massively recommend. I'll lurk while I go get all my packages. I'll be back if I have opinions, of course. No problem at all. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate you so much. Okay. After I read the Folk of Air trilogy, I wanted to read. It's so funny. I don't know if any of you guys are like this with like the movies or TV shows, like any type of shit you consume. But like I said, I'm doing this in order of what I read, and I'm seeing where my mind was going, like as in why I picked the next book, because it makes so much sense. Like the reason I read the Cruel Prince trilogy was because I read a fuck ass book and I wanted to like find joy in reading again. And then the book I read after that is Babel. And the reason I moved to Babel, which is this book right here, was because I read such a good fantasy series that I was like, I need to read another really fucking good fantasy book. Babel, before I talk to you about what it's about and stuff, Babel is a book by R.F. Kuang. You might know R.F. Kuang from the Poppy series, which is like another fantasy series, or Yellowface. Yellowface is very different from the Poppy series and the Poppy World series and this book, because these are fantasy. But in any case, R.F. Kuang is a really great writer. She went to Oxford. The reason I know this is because one of my like best friends slash former brides, or not former, she was my bridesmaid. She's like one of my best friends. She also went to Oxford and they studied together. And Babel is based on Oxford. And so that was why this was recommended to me. And also just because it's like, it's one of like the best fantasy books that have come out in some time, especially by R.F. Kuang. And so I moved on to it. I will say Babel is really ambitious for someone like me, because it's long and you have to lock in. Like you have to lock in here, because the magic system in this book is based on linguistics. So if you're like a linguistics nerd, you'd really fuck with this. But basically, the magic system, let me go back. This book is about a man. I forgot his name, so let me open up my little description thing. This book is about a man named Robin, who is basically orphaned from Canton, which is a place in China. He's taken from China and brought to the UK as an orphan due to a massive spread of cholera. His mom has died, he has no family, and this British man takes him from China to the UK and raises him. This man is very He's not an intimate guy. He doesn't let him call him father. He doesn't really establish any sort of like emotional relationship with him at all, but he does really lock him into his studies since he gets there. So the moment that Robin arrives to the UK at like 7, 8 years old, he is like enrolled into studying. He has the best tutors, he has the best like education, and his primary focus in his education is like on linguistics and linguistic theory, speaking because he speaks Cantonese, but he also speaks English. And this book is about Robin, who is then let into Oxford University, but a particular part of Oxford University that dabbles in magic. And so the magic system in this book is basically, it's so complicated, but it's so unique. And there's nothing, I've never heard of anything like this before in my life. It's a completely unique magic system. So I think that that's really interesting. But basically, TLDR, there's these silver bars, right? And this is what all of these really special, like really educated linguistics students from across the world get admitted to this very specific institute at Oxford, and Robin is one of them. He's basically been trained for this since he got to the UK. And once he's there, his job is to work on these magic systems, which you take these bars, these silver bars, and let's say on one side of the bar is like family, the word family, or actually let's use a different word. Let's say messy. Let's say the English word messy is engraved on one side of the bar. On the other side of the bar, you would take a word for messy in like Arabic or Cantonese or Swahili or Urdu or just a different language, and put it on the side. If any of you are bilingual or grew up speaking a different language or have studied a different language, you'll know that oftentimes like there is a lot of things lost in translation, right? So like there are certain words even in like Urdu and Punjabi and stuff that I've learned where there's no direct English word for that word. There's no direct translation, or you can't really sum it up. And that lost translation, the bit that you lose in the translation is what the magic is. So it's so hard to describe. So basically, like, let's say you have a bar that says light and you have the word for light in fucking Portuguese, and there's a bit that's lost, and the thing that's lost means like the power of light. That magic bar could then maybe potentially create light, like by powering something. So the book obviously does a better job of explaining it, but it's a really, really unique and fascinating system of magic that R.F. Kuang develops, and she's such a nerd about it because the reason that she did develop this certain magic system is because she did study linguistics at Oxford. And it's fucking brilliant. Without too many spoilers, Babel is not just a story about a magic system at Oxford, it is 150% a story about colonization. You probably guessed it, but all of the people at the fucking school, like 95% of the people at the school, are people of color because they are taken from their homelands, like Robin, and brought to Oxford to work on these magic bars. And it's a story about colonialism and capitalism, and it's based in the 1800s. So it follows like a lot of unique themes, like the cholera outbreak. And it's fucking brilliant. It's a hard read, though. For me, it was a hard read. I had to push through certain parts of it for sure. So my review, I gave this a 4.5. I said this book was ambitious and solid, but the end fell flat for me, which is true. I felt like I was reading an essay, and then the author was using the character she developed, who I did truly love, to platform her own beliefs. It was telling, it did not show or feel. The beginning of this book was a journey through linguistics and a new foreign life, and I adored it. I read it slowly and savored it all. The middle of this book had me actually gasping for air. The end felt like the words were sliding off the page and slipping to the ground, and as hard as I tried to grasp them, they kept falling out of my hands. Okay, Viper, what the fuck? I think what I meant by this review is like, yeah, the end just fell flat, basically. The end fell flat, and the reason it fell flat in particular is R.F. Kuang did a really good job in the first 2/3 of the book establishing this world and this magic system and making me fucking love these characters. And then at the end, it felt like she was just writing essays for like Oxford University Journal of whatever the fuck and making me read them. And R.F. Kuang is brilliant, and I think that she's too brilliant to be ending this book the way that she did. Because rather than showing the consequences of colonialism or showing the consequences of capitalism, it felt like she was telling them to me. It felt like she was like explaining them. And it's like, girl, if I wanted to be, I would have read an essay, not a fucking book. So that's why it's not a 5. Which it could be like a thing, you know? Like, people could think that I'm ridiculous for that, but it wasn't a 5 for me. It was a 4.5. Which puts it right under The Wicked King for me. It's an incredible read, and I do 100% recommend it. I thought it was brilliant. It did not change my life, and it's not a masterpiece, even though some people think it is. That's just not a masterpiece to me. Hi, Selene. It's good to see you. So relieved to see Haunting Adeline is F tier. Haunting Adeline was a fuck-ass, dumbass book. Selene, it's an F tier because I didn't finish it. I got like 25% of the way through, and I'm like, what is this? I have Babel on my TBR. I recommend it. It's really good. It's really good. It's ambitious, it's beautiful, it's hard to get through at some points, but it's worth it, in my opinion. Viper thought she had a linguistics major too with that review. I know. What the fuck did I say in it again? I read it slowly and savored it all. The middle of this book had me actually gasping for air. That's so funny. The end felt like the words were slipping off the page and slipping to the ground, and as hard as I tried to grasp them, they kept falling out my hands. Fuck ass dumbass. That's what it was. I'm just gonna keep it real. I was scared to review this book because I don't know if I had any people who had read Babel and really liked it, and I just felt bad, but Tree, welcome in. Thank you for that follow. Are you on Storygraph? Selene? I'm trying. Selene, I'm trying so hard. I've been on Goodreads for a really long time. And I want to move to Storygraph because Goodreads sucks. And I've requested my fucking data from Goodreads like 4 times and they won't send it to me. So I was talking about this at the beginning of stream. I think I need to just manually input all my information, which is gonna suck so bad. This is gonna be so tragic for me, but I think I just need to manually input everything because Goodreads will not give me my stuff. But I am moving to Storygraph. 2025 is a Storygraph year. Also, hello, I was scrolling and saw a book, so I had to stop. Well, welcome in. I am tier ranking all of the books that I read in 2024. So far, this is what my list looks like. I don't know if you have any familiar titles or see anything on here. And if you do, I hope that they're in a place that you would also put them. Okay, moving on. After Babel. Oh my god. Are you guys ready for ACOTAR? Fuck. After Babel, I went into ACOTAR. Am I ready? Alright, let's go. I've never been more ready. Are you gonna read Onyx Storm? Tree, I am. I was talking about this earlier. I haven't been in a position in a really long time where I have like actively been reading a series when a new book came out, and I'm so excited about it. And so I'm thinking of trying to like go stand in line the day it comes out so I can like get that feeling again, because I fucking loved that feeling as a kid, like when a new book would come out in the series and stuff. But yeah, I'm excited for Onyx Storm. I want to wait in line. I tried ACOTAR and DNF'd. Selene, I will say the first book in that series is like the worst one. It's the worst one. So I can see why you DNF'd it. The first one is rough. My recommendation to you, though, if I would ever try it again, or if anyone has read ACOTAR or wants to try it or whatever, go into ACOTAR as a meme. Go into that book reading it as a meme. Because once you get through the first one, there's some joy to be had in the series, for sure. But also, it's not for everybody. I'm listening to the ACOTAR audiobooks right now. I read the series last year, I think. I was just saying that the other day, too. I've never been excited about a new book release till now. I know, Tree, it's so exciting. Like, it's actually I'm stoked on it. I'm gonna be sat there in line. Listen, I'm sat there in line, and then I'm gonna go home, and I'm just gonna read the book in one day. I really dislike the protagonist, and they took too long to bone. And also, Moss uses like 7 dashes per page. Excellent facts. And also the boning that happens in ACOTAR ain't even the one that you want to read about. I'm gonna be honest. All of that shit happens in book 2. I gave the first book 1 star and gave up on the series. That's facts. I'm gonna move into ACOTAR now because that's what I read. A couple of things. ACOTAR is a very polarizing series. ACOTAR is the definition of TikTok book. Okay, this is book talk for sure. Here's my take on ACOTAR before I go into a book by book sort of analysis. If you like the babble, listen, no, fuck this. How do I say this? I believe in reading for joy. And I also believe in not having to finish a book if you started it. So, that being said, if you find joy in ACOTAR, so did I. I read the whole series. If you think it's a fuck-ass series, I also agree with you. Like, there two things can exist at once. Reading for fun is necessary, is what I'll say. Reading for fun is mission goddamn critical, and ACOTAR is a fun series to read. With Sarah J. Maas in particular, same thing with Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, she did not do her best writing in these books. It's actually super annoying. I heard Throne of Glass is way better in terms of writing. You're not reading A Court of Thorns and Roses to become a professor of literature, is what I'm gonna say. It's not literary, that's for sure. Exactly. But it is what, yes, exactly. And I read the whole thing. I've contemplated taking the day off to read. Tree, you should. You should. I have not finished the first book yet. The first book is the worst in my opinion. Speaking of ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This book is basically a story about... It's basically Beauty and the Beast. I think that's what she was inspired by. I think that's what Sarah J. Maas said she was inspired by. Maas. This book follows a girl, Farah, who, TLDR, kills a wolf that was actually a fae. And then, as payment for the murder, has to go live with a fae and is spoiled rotten. Like, that's what happened. That's how the book takes off, right? A couple of things. When I was talking about the Folk of Air trilogy, when I was talking about the Cruel Prince trilogy, I said a million times that the reason I loved that series was because they made their fae. The fae in that book were fucking ugly and green and smelly and stinky and gross. And that's what fae is. The fae in Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorns and Roses are hot. They're hot as fuck. And they're like giving Edward Cullen as Edward Cullen is to vampires is Sarah J. Maas's fae to Court of Thorns and Roses. Like they're just hot. They're blindingly fucking hot. All of them. Even the ugly ones are hot. So she kills this wolf. She then, as to pay for her sin of killing this wolf that was actually disguised as a fae, has to go live with this dude. And from there, shit hits the fan big time for her. I'm not going to go into it, but it follows sort of her path, right? ACOTAR is massive on TikTok. You've probably heard of it a million times. And I'm just going to go into my review. I said 3.9. I gave us 3.9, which is actually very nice of me. And I told you, I'm a good... I reviewed things nicely. I said this book was a fun read, and I am a sucker for romantasy involving fae, allegedly, but there were a few moments where pure and unbelievable coincidence moved the plot forward that sucked me out of the book. It also did not make sense. After reading the Cruel Prince trilogy, I couldn't imagine myself in this world as easy as I thought I would, or even Fourth Wing. Someone get this woman some crayons and an exorcism. And then I would put that in C. High key a flop, but readable. I think that's like the perfect category for it, because it is high key a flop, but it's readable. It's actually very readable. I wanted to know what happened. Yeah, for real. I'm really nice with my reviews. I am really nice with my reviews. Also, Shelby, you're like actively reading the book. Someone get that bitch some crayons and an exorcism. Like yesterday. Also, hi True, it's good to see you. ACOTAR is hard to get through. It really is. But you will get through it. The lowest review I gave was a 3 stars so far. I have to really hate a book. That's how I am. I gave Never Lie a 1. This book got 1.5, and this I didn't finish. Moving on, the second book in A Court of Thorn and Roses is A Court of Mist and Fury. If you know, you know. This is why you read ACOTAR. The reason you read this series is to read the second book. The fantasy genre has second book syndrome. Apparently Tog has it. The Cruel Prince trilogy has it. Also, Selene, if you're still here and you really hated A Court of Thorn and Roses, but you gave it a try, please read the Cruel Prince trilogy. Please read it. It's so fucking good. It's not smutty, though. If you were in A Court of Thorns and Roses for the smut, because I think you said it, like, the banging didn't happen, then you probably won't like the Cruel Prince, but if you were in it for the other side, like the fantasy side, read the Cruel Prince trilogy. If you're in it for the smut, read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. That's how I would divide the audiences. The people who read ACOTAR for the fantasy element would prefer the Cruel Prince trilogy, and the people who read ACOTAR for the smut and the romantasy would prefer Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, I think. What a time to join stream. Hi, Emily. This book had me barking, howling at the moon. Yes. Yeah. A Court of Mist and Fury had me fucking rubbing my feet together in my bed, barking at the moon for real. This shit is peak fairy smut, if that's your vibe. Peak. It does not get better than that. It really does not. It's so good. It's so fucking stupid. It's so stupid. It's so good. The book basically follows Farah. She has now become like a permanent fixture in this Fae world. So remember in the first book, she basically is like a human in a human world. And then she gets kidnapped to the Fae world. This book, A Court of Mist and Fury, like she's like permanently here now. Like the human world, she's gone. She doesn't live there anymore. She lives in the Fae world, and she's like a Fae girl. So like that's the vibe, right? Like bye to them. This is a new chapter. And my review for this was 4.3. It was, so that goes up quite a bit. That went up like what, 0.5 stars? I said 4.3. This was better than the first because it was heavily driven by romance, and I'm a sucker ass bitch. The writing seemed stronger. I could envision myself in Valaris, the Night Court, and the Summer Court, which is something I struggled with in the first book. Rhysand is a dumb name, but I really like him. Cliffhanger was decent. That's all I need to say about that. ACOTAR as a 4.3, I would put it in B tier. Right there. Nope. Right there. Yeah. Right? What did I give? Yeah, that's perfect. Good, but I would read it again. That's the thing. No, I wouldn't. I would, but for not the reasons that I would. No, I think this is fair, dude. I think this is really fair. I would read it for the wrong reasons. I would reread the book for the wrong reasons. I haven't even started ACOTAR, and your review doesn't make me want to read it. You should read it. I recommend reading ACOTAR. One, because it is like a fun world to get lost in. Also, because if you're struggling with books, if you're struggling with reading, well, okay. If you're struggling with reading, I would recommend 2 other series before ACOTAR, but I would read it just to get to the second book. If you stop after the second book, that's your prerogative. I didn't, because I'm a freak. I continued on. But if you read ACOTAR just to read the fucking second book and then dipped out, I respect you. Like, I respect you so bad, actually. In fact, I almost want to be you. I wish I did that, but I kept fucking going. I saw the potential after book 1, but I'm not a romance girly, so that's why I didn't give the series a second chance. Mick, that makes so much sense. And I don't know if you were here for when I said it. If you fuck with ACOTAR, but you like the fantasy aspect, like the world building fantasy, fucking all of that, Mick, you should read the Cruel Prince trilogy, The Folk of Air, because that takes the best parts. The Holly Black, who does the Cruel Prince trilogy, writes very similarly in terms of world building as Brandon Sanderson, except she has like a more woman focused lens on her characters. And the romance isn't, it's not cringe at all. Like the first book is cringe because she kept like, because of the I want power, I want power. I get that, Mick. But that's how Trust feels to me. Like Trust of the Emerald Sea feels by Brandon Sanderson feels so YA. Like so YA. Even more so than the Cruel Prince trilogy. Like I think the themes in the Cruel Prince are more adult than they are in Trust. If you're struggling with reading, you'll relate to Pharaoh. Crime, that's crazy. Where do bad rainbows go? To Prism. Oh wow, Ordy, thank you for that. It's a light sentence. It gives them time to reflect. Ordy, what the hell? Fays are horned up. Yeah, they are. Resand is a dumb name, but I really like him. Fantastic. Thank you, Tree. Also, Matsume, thank you for the lurk. I was actually looking at the Cruel Prince series last night, but I'm not going to buy it yet until I force myself to read more books. Emily, the series will force you to read more books. I haven't read Trust yet. For him, his are more adult due to the complexity than the content, I'd say. I know, that's why I want to move on to Mistborn, because I feel like I started with the wrong Brandon Sanderson book, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I fear I started with the wrong one. Okay. The third book, I read it directly, so I went into the ACOTAR, I read ACOTAR, I read A Court of Mist and Fury, and then I went into the third one, which is A Court of Wings and Ruin. This is A Court of Wings and Ruin is interesting, because a lot of people like A Court of Mist and Fury because it's like just good fairy smut. It's good fairy smut. The romance is really good in it. If you like to read romance, then you'll probably like A Court of Mist and Fury like a lot, right? And I do think it's still the best book in the series by far. However, I have really hot takes about ACOTAR. And I think that the second best book in the series is the third one, which is A Court of Wings and Ruin, this pink book down here. This one basically, whereas the first book was like, oh my god, she's a human, and the second book is like, oh my god, she's now in the Fae world, this third one is like, okay, we've established the fact that she has like moved, she has a hot ass partner, they're banging all the time, the sex is good, whatever the fuck, yada yada whatever, but can we talk about the economic and financial state of the world right now? Whatever the fuck Jane Smith said. Like, that is what A Court of Wings and Ruin is. It's like, can we talk about the world? And this world that they're in is, like, fucking falling apart. Like, she's falling apart. And so this book sort of follows, like, the war of it all. It's centered around, like, a big-ass war that happens. And within that, I will say that I love a little war moment. Like I said, the reason that A Wicked King, which is my top fantasy read of the year, is my top fantasy read of the year is because it reminded me, I love scheming. I love a scheme. I love a political scheme. I love a little Game of Thrones Red Wedding moment. And this tries to be that and does it successfully in some ways, but also falls very short in a lot of other ways. Like some of the creatures, I'll say, in this book are like, you know how like the Cybertruck is like a car that you drew, like if you drew a car from memory, you get the Cybertruck. Some of the fuck ass characters, creatures in this book are like if you had a 6-year-old draw a monster from memory. Like, that's what it's giving, if that makes any sense. And so that kind of takes you out of the story at times, but if you like war, you'll like this one. And this is why it's my favorite, my second one after the smutty first one. And I gave it a 4.1. I said I love the war and politics in this book, which made it far more interesting to me than the first or even the second in that way. The beginning and the end were stellar. The middle was tough because it was a bit boring. Tell me why that now Rhysand and Farah are in love. I'm bored of them, lol. Also, what is a vulgar gesture? That was my review. I forgot about that. I actually was so sick and tired of the two people that bang in the second book and it's really fun and cute and whatever. I'm sick of them by the third book. Sick of them. I'm like bored. I'm like, give me something new. And then what is a vulgar gesture is kind of, you know, it says what is a vulgar gesture, but what I mean by that is Sarah J. Maas, she picks these phrases, sort of like they do in Fourth Wing and Iron Flame with like violence and all of that. She picks these phrases such as a vulgar gesture and she drives them into the motherfucking ground. She drives those into the ground. She be using them every 5 pages and I'm like, we need to open the thesaurus. Like we must crack the thesaurus open yesterday, because if I read vulgar gesture one more time, I am going to vulgar gesture myself into the sun. Or 6 feet under, one of the other. So the writing again is not like, you're not reading fucking Ernest Hemingway, bitch. You're not even reading Holly Black, but it's, the war is fun and the beginning and end are fun. And so I put her here. I think Iron Flame is still worse. I think Queen of Nothing is still better. I think Fourth Wing is still better. I'd put her right there. I took a break from ACOTAR at this point. Or should we just... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get all the ACOTAR out the way. I think it's her, and then it's her. But I did take an ACOTAR break at this point. Because I couldn't handle it anymore. So I went to a completely other space. But for the sake of continuity in this tier ranking stream, we're just gonna go through ACOTAR. But... if you want to know real world Viper, she read 3 books in between these, because I needed an ACOTAR break. Sarah J. Mass break. I needed to mass myself away. Get a thesaurus, she said. Gestured vulgarly. Vague. Okay. I can't. Okay, A Court of Frost and Starlight. I'm so sorry if this was somehow your favorite book in the series. If it is, you are fucked. Wait, where did that go? She didn't even show up. I'm so sorry. Hold up, please. She made a noise. Where is she? Oh. Oh. 4th time's a charm. Okay, we're back. I can't. Okay, sorry. If this was your favorite book, you're wrong. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna put that out there. If the 4th ACOTAR, aka A Court of Frost and Starlight, was your favorite book, there's something clinically wrong with you, and that is has nothing to do with me. We're gonna speed run this. This is like if you know your favorite TV show has like a Christmas special. This is the Christmas special of ACOTAR. It's like 150 pages. Whereas the other books are like 500, 600 pages, this one is like 150, and it's basically a Christmas special. It takes all of the characters from ACOTAR. It is legitimately Christmas in this world, and I could not tell you what happens. I could not tell you a single thing that happens in this book. I don't even know. I'm trying to give you a description, and I don't know. The description is that it was a Christmas special. My review for this was... I don't know if I care about any of these people like that. 2 stars. This was literally Bunkerella/ass. It's not even high key flop, but readable. This was just Bunkerella. It's still better than Never Lie, though. Never Lie was a 1-star book. This was a 2-star book. The only reason I finished it was because it was 120 pages. Also, shit, ads are starting. I appreciate your support in watching them. I will take a pause on the tier list for anyone who's in ads, so you will not miss anything. I won't tier rank any more books, but if any of y'all have questions about the books I've tier ranked already, let me know. I read Never Lie, but honestly can't remember what it was about. Emily, it was about that couple who was like looking for a new home, and they're like in Ireland or something, and they go to do a house tour, but they get snowed in, and like the person who's supposed to give them the house tour doesn't show up, and then it like follows like basically the deterioration of like their sanity and relationship. Right. That book. Yeah, I mean, Emily, when I was talking about it earlier, the reason it's so bad for me is because the beginning had so much potential. Like, it was giving gothic thriller, fucking haunted house, haunted mansion type beat, which I love, and they could have done so much with it. But like after 3 of the plot twists, like after the first 3 plot twists, Frida McFadden lost her damn mind. I described it in a way where if you put a plot twist on a piece of paper, like you put 8 plot twists on a piece of paper, crumpled them up and threw them in a trash bin and had her reach in and pick one out, like that's what she did, except 6 times in a row. Like that book had so many plot holes, it was a fucking sieve. Like it made no sense. I hated that book. I can't even talk. I hated that book. I think Frida is just trying to pump out as many books as possible. Emily, that's exactly what Matsume said, because Matsume and I have also read The Housemaid, and that was better. But like by triple the amount, it was better. I still didn't love it, but it was way better. I'd probably put it in good but wouldn't read again, or high key a flop but readable. But that's exactly what she's trying to do for sure. I didn't read the series though. Emily, did it get better after the first one or worse? Or like what's your gauge on that? What's a plot hole? Valky, like a plot hole would be like if I wrote a story about Smokey and I was like, Smokey went off to war, and bitches were like, how did he go to war? That man's is a cat. Like that's a plot hole. Or like Viper left her house, except like a chapter earlier, like it said that I was, or like the chapter later it said that I never left the house. Like that type of, or insinuated that I never did or something. Like just a whole, like a fuck up in the plot basically. I liked it, but I wouldn't read it again. Maybe I'll have to give it a second chance, because I saw somewhere that said that there was one called The Housemaid's Wedding? Like she gets married? I get easily sucked into stories and literally see what's happening in my head, so I like them. The first 2 were okay, but the third wasn't as good. Emily, this is the thing too, right? Like, I finished that book. I finished it. So it sucked me in too. And usually with thrillers, because I love a thriller, I didn't read that many this year, but I love thrillers, but usually with thrillers, I can finish them. It's the end that gets really bad. Like, it's the end where I'm like, what happened? Like, what, you flopped. Like, what happened? Love that title. I'm here for it. Hi, Cam. It's good to see you. We are tier ranking all of the books that I read in 2024. So far, this is what we have. Hope you're good. I hope you're good. It's good to see you. Okay, people should be back from ads now. So let's continue. We left off at the 4th ACOTAR, A Court of Frost and Starlight, literally Bunkerella, literally S, literally a Christmas special. My formal review for the book is I don't care about these people like that. So if you like this book, I don't know what to say to you. I read The Only One Left by Riley Sager a few months ago, and I really liked it. It was fucking twisty at the end. I'll have to write that down. Hold up, let me put that down. Remind The Only One Left. A Christmas special. It's Cam, that's what it was. This shit was a Christmas special. And it's like, you usually make Christmas specials for characters that you care about. Like, girl, I don't care. Get them off of my page. It was so shit, dude. Was it just a book they could have done with that? Yeah, Shelby, it like provides one thing to the plot. I'm not even kidding. It's like 150 pages. And it is like them at Christmas dinner. Like, it's crazy. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just bad. That's my favorite book. Joanne, I am not surprised at all. Moving on. The final book so far. I think they're gonna, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's gonna be another ACOTAR book. I'm not sure. I don't know if this is where the series ended, but the last one that is out right now is called A Court of Silver Flames. This one is a little different. So wherein the first, second, and third book, ACOTAR, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, those 3 books follow like one main character, Farah. The Christmas special is fucking shit, and then it moves to A Court of Silver Flames. This is the first book in the series that no longer follows that first character. They're still in it. All of the characters are the same, but they switch lenses, right? So this one actually follows her sister, Nesta, who is in all of the books as a character, as a side character, but this book like focuses on her completely. Does not even focus on Farah at all. And I thought that was kind of interesting because I don't know of many series that do that, like where they just midway through the series sort of flip characters. And this one follows Nesta without like spoiling it. It just kind of follows like Nesta's healing journey is what I'll say. And if you've read the books or if you haven't, like I never used to fuck with Nesta as a character. I actually thought she was hella annoying. But that's why I liked this book, I think. I still didn't think it was excellent by any means. But the reason that I liked it was because she's like not a simple character. She's more complex than you would think, if that makes sense. Like she isn't perfect. Like whereas Farah, and I talked about this earlier, that's why I really fucked with The Cruel Prince. Whereas Farah was like a perfect fucking character, like she's strong and she's smart and she's hot and she's whatever. Like Nesta is not that. Like Nesta's a ratty bitch who needs a therapist and like yoga and Pilates and like I don't know, a lot. And so I fucked with her heavy because I'm like, girl, I need all those things. I need therapy and Pilates and like a bunch of other shit. So I liked it. Also the smut comes back. If y'all are into smut, the smut comes back in this one heavy. If A Court of Mist and Fury, which is that green one right here, if this book was like smutty on a 7, this one, A Court of Silver Flames, is smutty on like an 8, I think. Like it gets even more. So if you fuck with that, you'll like it as well. Oh, there will be another ACOTAR Jujubee. I didn't know that. Do you know who it's gonna follow? Joanne just caught a crazy stray and dipped. Bye, Joanne. Thank you for popping in. I need to read Crying in H Mart. Sarah, I was talking about that book earlier in stream and it made me cry talking about it. It made me cry talking about it. Anyway, this book I would put right here and I'll read you my review. Well, before I put it there, I'll read you my review. I gave this a 4, which is nice. I honestly think it's nice. A solid 4. I actually really liked this one because I felt like it was darker, realer, and heavier. If this story was in the hands of anyone but Moss, it might have been handled better, but it was fun to see the ACOTAR universe form a different character lens, and I appreciate the real and angsty journey Nesta goes on. I really like the Valkyrie storyline. And seeing women characters in this book who are building their strength and fighting through trauma. Unlike Farah, who is like literally just naturally good at everything. I see you, Nesta, for real. Right there. Good, but I wouldn't read again. And I have no notes on my review. I think that's exactly how I feel. There is a storyline with the Valkyrie in this book that I did appreciate a lot, because this book is not just about Nesta. It's about like this group of women, and I love that. I think that's sick. You know, I think that's fun and cool that it shows not just Nesta's healing journey as a woman, but like a couple of different women's journeys. And I truly mean it. Like, I'm not shitting on Mass or Moss. Like, she's very successful for a reason. But I think that if the story was in someone else's hands, it could have been a brilliant book. Do you know what I'm saying? It could have been an incredible read, 100% recommend, but it wasn't because it was macerating it. I never read the ACOTAR, but I like watching reviews on YouTube. Cam, have you ever seen those ACOTAR reviews on YouTube? I don't know who the girl is called or the person who does them is called, but she animates all of the characters. It's so much fun. So excited to come in here and see Crying in H Mart at the top. I just got it for Christmas. Plum, it's such a good book, dude. It's such a good book. Phenomenal. Crying in H Mart is good because I was talking about how I really related to Michelle Zauner's experience as an Asian American. But I was also saying you don't have to be an Asian American to relate to this book, because she also talks about the loss of her mother. She also has this like massive theme about trying to pursue like an artistic career as in a society where that's not, you know, really like a plausible option. And she does successfully do it, right? It's an autobiography. If y'all don't know who Michelle Zauner is, or the person who wrote Crying in H Mart, which is the only book I have in S tier so far, She's the lead of Japanese Breakfast. So if y'all fuck with Japanese Breakfast, read that book. Phenomenal. Not much of an update of who or what ACOTAR 6 will be about. SJM has hinted at it. And some other things have been made apparent. There's going to be a book 6. Oh, interesting. I'm interested to see what it'll be, because I feel like it can't be about Nesta. I feel like she put a bow on that. Maybe about the other sister? Silver Flames is the favorite book of the series for a lot of people. I know, and you know what? I'm switching these two. I switch. Yeah. Do I? I switch. Do I? 1 second. No. I don't switch. I keep it where it's at. I haven't read. I'll try to find it. Kem, you should. It's really good. For sure gotta read all 3 if you like any of them. All 3 being in the Mossverse. I have Throne of Glass. I'm excited to read that one because I heard that one's a better Moss series. There will be a 6 and a 7. What the hell? First 3 are a trilogy. 4 is fluff. 5 and 6 and 7 will be different POVs. So my guess then is 5 is obviously Nesta. 6 will be the other sister. And 7, I don't know. That's so interesting. Yeah, 4 is fluff. 4 is terrible. You like Babel a lot, huh? I'd be interested to hear what you liked. I haven't read it yet. If you... I did already talk about it, but like, here, I'll read you my review, Kem. I said 4.5. Okay, my review is a little verbose, and I don't know who I thought I was. But for Babel, I said 4.5. The book was ambitious and solid, but the end fell flat for me. It felt like I was reading an essay. The author used the characters she developed, who I truly loved, to platform her own beliefs. It was telling, not showing or feeling. The beginning of this book was a journey through linguistics and a new foreign life, and I adored it. I read it slowly and savored it all. The middle of this book had me actually gasping for air. The end felt like the words were sliding off the page and slipping to the ground, and as hard as like whatever. TLDR, you just got trolled to reread that one. I know, that's why I didn't read the end band. TLDR, Kem, Babel is a really good book. I think that the end falls a little bit flat because R.F. Kuang is a brilliant writer, and she established such a beautiful world, such a cool magic system. Everything about the book was fucking great. The characters I loved. I would take bullets for those characters. I loved everything about the first 2 parts of the book. And then the third book, it felt like I was reading an essay. Like, she went full Oxford on my ass. She said, I have a paper due at 11 p.m. midnight and I'm gonna write about colonialism. And like, great. It's a great paper on colonialism. But what happened to the original plot of the movie? Like, show me. Don't tell me. She could have shown that. She could have platformed her beliefs, I think, in a much more productive way than she did, in my opinion. But I do recommend. I think it's a really, really good book. What was the end of your review, Joanne? I thought you left. I thought you left. Cam, I didn't read the end because I was listen, I read a book about linguistics and I thought I was doing something. Okay, that's ACOTAR. Moving on. Tomorrow, and tomorrow. This book right here. Okay, this is a good book. So Tomorrow, and Tomorrow is by Gabriel Zevin. Oh my god, what did I just do? Hold please. It's by an author named Gabriel Zevin. It's basically about 2 people, 2 friends, who connected as children. They connected as children and they came back together in college. And they're at Harvard. They're smart as fuck, okay? One of them's at Harvard and one of them's at MIT or some shit. Sadie and Sam. And Sadie and Sam developed a really close relationship as kids and then drifted apart and then came together. And it follows their journey from sort of that childlike state all the way to their 50s, 60s, right? And the way that this novel is described on like Goodreads or by the character or the author, sorry, is an exhilarating novel about two friends, often in love but never lovers, who come together as creative partners in the world of video game design, where success brings them fame, joy, tragedy, duplicity, and ultimately a kind of immortality. So TLDR, what happens in this book is that these two have been in love with each other at various times in their lives, but never have ever gotten together in that way. And that's one string of the plot. The other string of the plot is they essentially become co-workers designing video games together. Which y'all bitches, I know you would like. Everyone here on Twitch, y'all would fuck with that. I fucked with it for the same reason, but they're video game developers. And they start their own, and it's really interesting, right? It follows, because they create their first video game in college in this like bunk ass house, and then they become massive, right? They become huge indie game developers. And so then they become not only friends and, you know, on and off again magnetic lovers, but also colleagues. And it just follows their life, how they become famous, how they become, you know, not famous. A massive fucking tragedy does happen in this book, so trigger warning to that. But I would say it's a loose trigger warning. It's very sad. I sat there crying for like 30 minutes. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it was good. And my review for this was, I gave it a 3.9/4. I don't really know where to place it. What you think? I thought it was going to be higher. I was going into tomorrow thinking it was going to be like a 4.5, 5, potentially even 5-star book for me. But it wasn't. And in my review, I said, this was solid. Okay, I said 3.9/4 question mark. This was solid. I hated literally all of the characters except the one that was used for trauma, and that pisses me off, but I get it. I did like how they didn't necessarily redeem any of the characters, because if you're going to build them shitty, then you might as well keep them that way. That is the entire reason that this book is a 4, but maybe I need to think about it. Also, this book was basically try and have a conversation challenge, but make it span over 30 years and 400 plus pages. So, I forgot the problems I had with this book. Okay. The problems I had with this book was, one, yeah, the characters are not redeemable. Sam and Sadie are fucking insufferable, in my opinion. I don't like them. I'm not rooting for any of them. Sam is a fuck ass. Sadie's a fuck ass. I don't like them. The one character that I fucking adored in this book is not even a main character. And they use that character for trauma. And then, truly, honestly, half of the problems, if not all of the problems in this book, could be solved by having a conversation. Like, they could have just sat down and talked. But for some reason, every single time that that's supposed to happen, it just doesn't happen. Which is what I mean by try and have a conversation challenge, but make it over 30 years and 400 pages. And that shit pisses me off. Like, that to me is a little lazy, if I'm going to be honest, because what the fuck do you mean that the entirety of this book, the entire purpose of this novel could be destroyed by one solution, and that one solution is opening your mouth? That one solution is like sending a text or even like an email. Fuck it, send me an email. So I really wanted to love it. I did like it. I think it was solid, but yeah, that kind of girl, what do you mean? I'm just saying it could have been so good. I hate when books do this to me. Also, Chella, hi, it's good to see you. Hi, Chella. Hi, Blasphemy. Oh my god, so many people. Hi, Isla. Iron Flame and B tier makes me not trust your judgment. There's S tier too. I said good, but wouldn't read it again. I preface this entire tier rank by saying that I believe in reading for joy. I do believe in reading for joy. I do not think that you can't, like, things don't have to be literary genius. These reviews are magical, Plum. I'm glad that they're landing. Yeah, and you up email would have fixed it. Anyway, going back to this. Tomorrow. I would put this... God, I don't know where I'd put this. A lot of books in B tier, but this is what I mean. Like, my average Goodreads rating this year was a 4, or last year, I guess, was a 4. You guys, I'm gonna do something crazy. I don't know if I trust my judgment anymore. I don't know if I trust my judgment anymore. I said 3.9/4, and like I think it's a 3.9 because I wouldn't even recommend the book unless you want to read. I mean, I just don't like it, bro. I don't like the book. I've heard so many good things about Tomorrow now that I think about it, but I'd like your review better. I literally, I swear to you, I have taste. I swear. It was a flop, dude. Because really, honestly, read this book and come talk to me and be like, Viper, you're wrong. Read the book and tell me I'm wrong. The DNF on Haunting Adeline is so, that book was ass. I got 25% of the way through and I closed that shit forever. Have fun. I don't read the same type of books as you do. Blasphemy. What type of books do you read? I'm always down for a recommendation. This year, I'm trying to read out of my zone. So I'm reading Brandon Sanderson. I have some other some autobiographies and stuff. This year was a big fantasy year for me because if anyone is here that wasn't here before, like I did not read very much. I read a lot of, if I did read prior to this year, it'd be like 3 or 4 books a year, and they would be all thrillers or mysteries because I thought those were fun, and I still think that they're really fun. And this was the first year that I actually read more than fucking 5 books, and I think that's fine. I think 5 books a year is also fucking amazing, but it was basically, it was me in my YA era. My favorite book I read this month was Hidden Pictures. I'll put that in my Hidden Pictures. I'm reading Trust of the Emerald Sea right now, Chella. My best read of the year was Kingdom of Ash, but I'm starting the Mistborn trilogy. I want to start the Mistborn trilogy. I also have Priory of the Orange Tree. Like I have that book, so I need to read that soon. I read a lot of nonfiction, but I've been trying to dabble into more fiction as of recently. I'm the opposite. I read a lot of fiction, but I want to get into more nonfiction. I mean, I read Crying in H Mart. I really loved. I read this in 2023. It was God, what is that book called? Fuck. Educated by Tara Westover. That book is crazy. That's a 5-star S tier book for me, but that wasn't for 2024. Okay, moving on. Evil Eye by Ethoff Rum. So that is this book right here. You could probably see off the bat why I was interested in this book. There's a couple of reasons, okay? There's a couple of reasons, but if y'all know anything about me, I'm obsessed with the fucking Evil Eye. I was raised. Hi, Vil. It's good to see you. I hope you're well. I fucking love the Evil Eye, okay? I got her here. I have her here. I have her everywhere. And this book obviously has an Evil Eye as the cover, but also because this was on my list of things that I wanted to read way in the beginning of the year. So I was waiting for this to actually come out. Evil Eye is about a Palestinian American woman who is first generation Palestinian American. Her parents are from Palestine, moved to New York City and had her. And it's a story that follows her her journey in like adulthood. So at a very young age, she kind of was raised by her parents to believe that she could do whatever she wanted as long as she got married, really. And so she really wants to go to college. She wants to go to university. Her parents say, get married first. She meets a guy who's like, yeah, go to college after we get married. But then she gets married to him. They have children, whatever. And I was raised I'm first generation Asian American, but I'm also first generation. I was raised Muslim. So as this character was, I really relate to sort of some of the cultural and situations that happen. And this book is awesome. Like it follows her liberation, like of herself. And it's not one of those books that shits on culture. It's not one of those books that shits on religion. It follows the woman as the woman's story, which I love because I've read a lot of books in this realm that will like shit on religion or tell you what's right or what's wrong. I'm not a religious person, but I think people should have like the choice, and I don't think that you can. I think you can get your point across without shitting on something, and this book does a good job of that. That being said, my review for this was a 4.9, so I really fucked with this book. Abby, it's almost a perfect book to me. I said, if you know me at all, you know that The Evil Eye has a profound mark on who I am, what I believe in, and how I live my life. This book was a mirror I have avoided looking into too deeply and had me question to what do we credit on generational curses and trauma, to what do we credit on what will people say, and to what do we credit on the evil eye, and how much of that is actually in our control. The monologue did at times become cumbersome because it perfectly captured depression and anxiety. It was repetitive, but so are the thoughts that you have when you are anxious and depressed. So that's my warning to you. If you are not in like a good mental state, this might exasperate that just a tad because it does draw on. Like my mom read this book. I suggested this to her because I thought she would like it a lot. And she didn't love it as much as me because she's like, bitch, she was so depressed. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, like, she was depressed. And it's not, like, terrible because she does liberate herself. And there is some level of, like, happiness to be found at the end. But, like, reading the book, you constantly hear her sort of fixating on these certain ideas or thoughts. And it's like, she's anxious. She's depressed. Like, if you've had your own battles with anxiety or depression or anything like that, you get what it means. You get what it feels like. Also, Isla, thank you for the lurk. And so it can seem repetitive, but I think that's like a really strong literary tool that Ethoff uses. And I think one of the things too, like if you're like me and you do believe in the evil eye, I think a lot of like, I think one of the things about me and my belief in the evil eye, like not to get too fucking, you know, spiritual on Maine or whatever, but I think a lot of that is sort of fucking up my idea of what is actually in my control and what is not. Especially, like I said, I'm not like a religious person, and so I think it's funny that I'm like the bitch who's also like evil eye, evil eye, evil eye, because like it's faith. Like I have faith in something like that, and so yeah, I think that was really interesting because I think if you are first generation American or you were raised in like any sort of like minority households or religion, like you might have some experience with especially the idea of like what will people in your community say or generational curses and shit like that. So very interesting book. And also if you want to read a book about a Palestinian American, start here. Like we should be really engaging in that type of literature. So anyway, 4.9, I would put that at the top. An incredible read and 100% recommend. It didn't change the course of my life, but I would 100% recommend this book. It's just not a 5-star to me. Hi Yowie, thank you for the lurk. I appreciate that. The only series I finished this year is A Cemetery of Forgotten Books by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. Oh, I will add that. I haven't heard of that. Never mind. Oh yeah, I love recommendations, so thank you, Kim. It's historical fiction. Ooh. I grew up obsessed with it because my friend's family is Lebanese. So it's been a constant motif in my life. It's just, that's how it is for me too. And like the evil eye has, like when I got married, I passed out evil eyes as party favors. Like it's like that intense in my life. It's everywhere. I have one right there. I have one everywhere. So I get that, but this book really shook me on that level. That sounds like such a powerful book. To be honest, I'm gonna mute up because I don't want spoilers. Thank you. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate you. I'll pass for now. Yeah, the depression thing is real. Like if you don't want to read a repetitive sort of thing, then I'm sure. The last book came out not too long ago, wrapping it up very well. Ooh, okay, I'm excited. I'm excited to get into that. Girl, my library hates to see me coming. I have so many books on hold, just added this one. I'm glad. If y'all could take one book from this and be like, ooh, that sounds like good, then I've done a good job. You're a real one for passing those out. It was fun. A lot of people who never had them before were grabbing them. Okay. After Evil Eye, God, we're getting to some good books. I ended the year very well. So strap in. I ended the year very well. But before I go there, actually, I forgot to do None of This Is True. That's on me. That's on me. Wait, should she even be in here? Where is none of this is true? Where did I read this? Oh, I read this before tomorrow. So let's start here because I accidentally skipped it. This is a thriller. So like I said, I used to always read thrillers and stuff. So they still hold like a very strong spot in my heart. I love a thriller. None of This Is True is by Lisa Jewell. I've never read anything by Lisa Jewell before. This was my first novel by her, but I think this was on Kindle Unlimited, so I got this one as well. This book right here. This book is about a woman who turns like 30 or 40. I don't think it really is consequential what age she turns. She turns an age, and she runs into this girl at her birthday dinner who also turned that age. And she's like, oh my god, we're birthday twins. And one of the people, the girl she ran into, is like this very famous podcast host. She has a podcast. They live in London. She's famous. She has it, whatever. And the other one is like a mom of 2 kids who's kind of like doesn't know what to do with her life. And they basically get together and are like, let's make a podcast. And the way that this book is described is Lisa Jewell returns with a scintillating new psychological thriller about a woman who finds herself the subject of her own popular true crime podcast. And I'm not going to say anything other than that because it will get into spoilers. It's hard to sort of give descriptions of these thriller books without like letting on too much. But TLDR, all you gotta know, it's a true crime podcast, and the girl is like the victim, but she's recording this podcast with this other girl, and so that's what the book is about. My note for this, I gave it a 3.6, which is pretty good in terms of thrillers. I think thrillers for me are funny because I love reading them. I could read them in one sitting. I think they're so much fun, but I don't always love them. I haven't read many thrillers except for like Gone Girl or Girl on the Train. Girl on the Train is an S tier book for me. It's my favorite thriller of all time. Anyway, it's hard for me to give a thriller anything more than a 4. So 3.6 is pretty good. I said it was a quick read, and as far as thriller/mysteries go, it was pretty solid. The only reason that it's not higher is that the twist at the end felt so underdeveloped. We spend so much time on a presumed falsity, and I wish that that was given more to the last few chapters. Maybe I'm looking for a message in a book that isn't promising that, but isn't it? So I think my qualm with this book was like, it was trying to be really enlightened in some ways, and then at the end it sort of just is like, oh, by the way, that's not true, and goodbye. That's not actually, Ellen, like, that's not true. And then the book ends, and it's like, bitch, what the fuck? Like, we just spent 300 pages together, and you've been trying to preach to me about this entire, like, fucking moral thing, and then you're like, LOL, just kidding, and you ghost me? Like, that shit pisses me off. So that's why it's not a 4, because I do think it could be a 4 if it handled the ending better. 3.6, high-key a flop, but readable. I think it's worse than Tomorrow, but better than... Low-key, actually, I think Akatar is better. Low-key, actually, I think Akatar is better. If anyone could relate to streaming a podcast while you're going through it and broadcasting, it's a streamer. Facts, actually. Yeah, it's literally got him and dip. She got me and then ran. It was not good. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't a good ending, but again, the beginning and the middle were so decent. And this is one of those books too that has like not just one big twist, but like 3 or 4 little ones that lead up to the big one. And I would actually say that all of the twists were pretty decent as well. You know what? No, I keep it there. I keep it there. But if you do want to read a thriller and it's still on Kindle Unlimited, I would say give it a go. It's pretty fun. It's a fun concept too. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, a podcast host becomes the subject of her own true crime podcast. Like, that sounds like nightmare fuel. Moving on. I'm gonna save the best 3 for last. These I want to say are like, these are actually how I ended the year in order. But Divine Rivals, I tried reading at some point. So Divine Rivals is, god damn it. I don't know if any of y'all have read this, and if you have, like, I think it's a skill issue, okay? Because this book on Goodreads has an average rating of 4.17, which is fucking decent for a book on Goodreads. Not that I'm saying whatever. The description of this book: no god, no creature, no war can come between them. When two young rival journalists find love through a magical connection, their fate depends on their facing the depths of hell together. After centuries of sleep, the gods are warring again. Basically, these two journalists work at a fucking these two journalists work at a newspaper, and there's a war happening, and it's enemies to lovers, and I got like 10% of the way into it, and I DNF'd it. I didn't fucking finish that book, so I have nothing to say about that. Which is shocking, because again, that book has like a 4.16. I was like, oh, this book is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be so good. I want to read some smutty god journalism, fucking enemies to lovers type of thing. I couldn't get into it. I tried so many times. I picked this book up more times than I pick up like TikTok at the end of the night. Like, I was opening this shit constantly because I thought, let me get into it. This is another one of those Kindle Unlimited specials. I think she's been on Kindle Unlimited for like a decade now. And then there's a second one as well. Rebecca Ross. Girl, I'm not familiar. I do not know you. I don't know you, and I don't understand you. And to the people who like this book, someone please tell me to continue and why I should. Because I don't think I'll ever pick that book up again. The final three. And these books actually make me so excited. So I'll do them in order of what I read them in. Oh god, wow. We're starting off with a banger. 1 second. When are ads starting? Oh, we have 20 minutes. We're good. Notes on an Execution. This book right here. Notes on an Execution is a book by Danya. Is it Kafka? Danya Kakofka. And it is a book about it's a thriller. It's a mystery thriller about a man. It's a good one. It is a good one. It's a man who... It's the last... Okay, how do I describe this? Because I don't want to give anything away. It's about a man who is on death row, and it follows the last 24 hours of his life leading to his hanging, to his execution, and it cuts between 24 hours to execution, 23 hours to execution, and those are all broken up by the women that he has murdered in his life. And also how the women in his life have shaped him and like got him to where he is. And this book is fucking insane. It's fucking insane, dude. Because one, I didn't even know, like, it's such an ambitious sort of idea, like 24 hour, like the 24 hours jumping to between past and present that much. And also because I didn't know that there would be that much to cover in the last 24 hours, which is dumb, because imagine knowing that you're going to die in 24 hours, right? Like, we always ask ourselves that question. If you would know how you would die or when would you die, would you want to know? And this man, I'll tell you, is not ready to die. This man is not ready to die, so that makes it very tough. And I can't say more than that because I don't want to get anything away, but I'll read my review. I said 4.9, but basically a 5. I would call this a 5. Oh my god, Coochie Crumble! Hi, we were talking about you earlier. You have an incredible username. Notes on Execution, I would give a 4.9, but basically 5. I give it a 5. I 100% give this book a 5. I said this was a great book. I was audibly gasping throughout. The prose was gorgeous, and I didn't skim a single page. This book didn't tell you how to feel, and I love that. Albeit I wish it would, because at the end I was just staring at my wall in disbelief. And that's facts. Like, I closed this book, and I know people say that shit. I did. I stared at my wall for like 30 minutes. I didn't know what to think, because I thought maybe this book would be like a criticism on execution, and should we have it or should we not have it, or this or that. And like, it's not. It doesn't say that. It tells you the story. It lays out the truth. It lays out his execution. It lays out why he's there. It lays out the people he's killed he's murdered, his life. And even at the end, I was like, what? Like, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to think. I think it was so beautifully done. I think that Danya Kakofka, she is brilliant because the way she cuts too, I think some books really fuck up by cutting between the present and the past. She did such a good job with it. And the way that she did it too, the reason I was audibly gasping is because for a book that seems pretty straightforward, this book had plot twists that I could not see from a mile away. Like, you could have had me sat down and been like, Viper, what do you think is going to happen in this book? And I would have missed every single fucking time. Like, I would have missed every single time. And so you think you believe something, you think you know something, you don't know shit. And she does such a good job of handling something like that. I absolutely loved it. It is an S tier book for me. I 100% recommend. I would put it right behind Crying in H Mart. I would put Crying in H Mart is still number 1 for me because I think that book is like an easy 5 for me. Notes on Execution is also a 5, but like I said, I was thinking it was a 4.9 in the beginning and then I didn't, but a phenomenal book. I think it's on sale on Amazon right now too. It's like $8. The way my messages have to, I mean, the coochie message is, yeah. I had to like auto mod allow that. Make me want to read it? You should read it. It's really good. My favorite review is when someone says they disassociated for hours after they finished, and I did. I finished Notes on an Execution. I finished this book and I blacked out, dude. I don't even remember what I was doing. I could not tell you what day it was. I was literally just sitting there like, is execution okay? Is execution not okay? Who is this person? Who are these women? What are we supposed to be doing? Like, I didn't know anything. Where is your booktube channel, Viper? She does not exist. There is no booktube. I will upload this VOD onto YouTube, though. Okay. God, these last books that I read in the year were fucking crazy. Moving on. The book I read after that is In the Dream House. Fuck, this book is also so crazy. I feel like I need to be doing stretches after I talk between all of these. It's like, we saving the best for last, for real. Which worked out so divinely. I think I was just so over reading shitty books, or mid books, I guess, that I like banged them all out at the end of the year. I was like, let's get some good ones in. And I was in line waiting for In the Dream House for a while too. Like I said, I have a Kindle. She's my lifeblood. I do love a physical book. I have a lot of physical books right now that I'm reading, but the Kindle is what actually got me to reading a lot more. And one of the cool things about the Kindle, I know I talk about unlimited. I don't even think unlimited is worth it. I just pay for it because I don't know. One of the coolest things about Kindle, and honestly anything, if you have an iPad, an iPhone, any fucking device, you can get this app called Libby. And Libby is a free app that I've been using for 2 years now, and I love her to death. Basically, you just connect your library card to the app, and any books that your library carries digitally, you can put on hold. And so I have my library card and my mom's library card in my Libby account. And I was in line for In the Dream House for fucking 6 months. Like, she's a popular book. I remember I put this on hold in Libby in like April, and I got her in October or November. Like, it was a while. So if you want to read this book, I'm not even gonna go into the description yet. Put it on Libby. Reserve that shit on Libby right now. I like paperback books more. Coochie, that's what I'm in now. I've been reading a lot of physical books, and I also prefer paperback. There's this like a subscription box that I'm always getting ads for. I think it's called Book of the Month. It's like one of those things where every month they ship you a book. And it looks so sick, and I would 100% do it because I think it's a flat cost of like a certain amount of money. And then also the cool thing about it is that you get to pick which books. So they give you like 3 or 4 recommendations, and you pick what book you want, and then they ship it to you. The only reason I will not do Book of the Month is because they only send you hardcovers, and I fucking hate hardcover books. If I'm gonna read it, I just can't. Yeah, they have exclusive but Chem, they only do hardcovers. Like, they won't send you paperback, and that to me makes no sense. I hate hardcover books, so I can't do Book of the Month. If you're listening, Book of the Month, please do a paperback version. We all want it so bad. My friend does that. She really enjoys it. Chella, I want to do it so badly. Book of the month is sick. I've gotten so many books for next to nothing though. Plum, is it okay? Am I wrong about the hardcover thing, or is it legit only hardcover? Also, the other thing about book of the month is the first month. The first month I looked at it, I was like, wait, I don't want any of these. Low-key, high-key, I don't want any of these books. So what do I like? What the fuck am I supposed to do? I hate hardcovers as well. We're the same. Come, every day we become closer together by our similarities. I believe it is only hardcover because they make their own editions. Oh, okay, well that's cool. But can they make their own paperback editions? I would love that. I don't know the rules around that though. Like, are you allowed to just do that? You can skip the month. Oh, I didn't know that. Or honestly, search through the older. Plum, that's actually tea. I didn't know that you could search through the older options. That's really fun. I like that. Maybe I'll reconsider, but I just really cannot fuck with hardcover books. It stress me out. Okay, moving forward. In the Dream House. In the Dream House is a book by Carmen Maria Machado. It is a nonfiction book. You guys aren't ready. I'm not ready. Okay. It's a nonfiction autobiography about Carmen Maria Machado, and massive trigger warning. It's about domestic abuse, but it is a memoir about her domestic abuse situation when she was in a relationship with her like first real girlfriend, basically. So Carmen and her girlfriend, yeah, it's like, how do I describe this book? Basically, it's like vignettes, I think is the word. Each chapter is like it's about like the dream house. So the dream house as McDonald's, let's say. And it's like a 2 fucking page chapter that sort of describes her life in that point in a situation about McDonald's, or violence as or the dream house is a choose your own adventure. That's one of my favorite chapters. There's a chapter in this book called The Dream House is Choose Your Own Adventure, and it's literally a choose your own adventure in the book. She's like, if you believe I should have done this in this situation, skip to page 12. If you think I should have done this, skip to page 24. The Dream House as a Victorian Gothic novel. The Dream House as a romantasy. The Dream House as CoverGirl Clean Matte Mascara. Like, it's like that, right? So it's like these little... They call it revolutionary because it is. I have never read anything like this in my entire life. She's a genius. Carmen is a fucking genius. It's innovative. It's engrossing. It talks about her relationship gone bad. It talks about how representation of domestic abuse situations and lesbian relationships is like very fucking unheard of, which I didn't understand. You know, I didn't know that like abuse and lesbian relationships kind of goes under the radar, and for what reason, and why you don't really talk about it, and why it's taboo. And it talks about like there's this one part, it's a struggle that gives the book its original. Each chapter is driven by its own narrative trope: the haunted house, erotica, choose your own adventure, where she examines them and her life as different relationships. So the dream house is her trauma, it is her domestic abuse in this relationship, and it just shows her getting out. And she talks about, like, she does so many things. She does Star Trek at one point, Disney villains, proceedings, fairy tales. Like, it's insane. And if you're a reader who likes little short bursts, you'll love this book, because I think the longest chapter in this book is like 5 pages. So you're constantly sort of like reading these little vignettes of her life, the dream house, her trauma, and like these little things. And because she does it in this way, it doesn't ever feel too heavy. So while it is obviously about domestic abuse and it is heavy, and you are like, what the fuck? Like, you're like, how is this happening? This is so fucked up, and it's hard to read at times. Like, she delivers it a little nice. Like, she delivers it softly because of the way that she uses these like narrative tropes. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's hard to describe because it's unreal. It's like nothing I've ever read before. Also, hi Panda, it's good to see you. It's unlike anything I've ever read before. And I gave this a solid 5. I said maybe 4.9 if Stingy Me is rating it. It's the most unique memoir I've ever read. It's gothic, it's unique, it's intelligent, and it's brilliant. I consumed this in a life moment where I needed to read it most. So whereas it would have hit me like a bus normally, it ran over me like a freight train. This is like the opposite of how I felt with Evil Eye. I said with Evil Eye, if you are depressed, you might have a hard time reading it. I needed this. I was depressed and I needed In the Dream House. Like, it did hit me. It hit me hard. I think if I read it in a better mental state, like I said, it still would have fucking packed a punch, but it killed me. Reading a book and tearing up because it's pulling on your heartstrings too much. Mark, first of all, hello. Second of all, absolutely. And In the Dream House, I'm not in a domestic, by the grace of God, whatever. I'm not in a relationship that has DV. I'm not a lesbian, like I could not even stop relating to her because she's that brilliant. Anyone could read this book and relate to her. And so In the Dream House is also a S tier book. And in fact, I'd put it above Notes on an Execution just because I love writing. I used to do it a lot more than I do now, but from a purely a writing perspective, like if you're in it for the game of loving writing, she is groundbreaking in that way. Like this book is revolutionary. This is like, if there's a book that's a masterpiece in this list, it's this one. Notes on Execution and Crying in H Mart changed my life. In the Dream House did as well, but it's truly a masterpiece. It's a fucking phenomenal book. 5 stars. Put that shit on your Libby, whatever, get the book. Final book of 2024. Betty. Betty is a book by Tiffany McDaniel, and this is true. It's a very lyrical novel about a woman named Betty, obviously, who grew up in the foothills of the Appalachia. She grows up in the Appalachians, and she is the daughter of an indigenous man, a Cherokee father, and a white woman. It's set in the 1950s, so racism is rampant. I mean, racism is obviously still very much alive and well, but it's very rampant in 1950s, especially to her Cherokee father. And her white mother has 8 kids with the Cherokee father, this man. And they live in Appalachia, so Ohio, I think, Breathed Ohio or something. And this book follows Betty's entire life, from her being a child to her growing up, but more so focuses on her childhood and the hardship that she faces. There is a lot of racism in this book. Her mom is a fucking asshole. Her father is brilliant. Her father is probably the best character I've ever read, or maybe I read in 2024. He is incredible. He's lyrical. The way he speaks, everything about him is beautiful. It's a heartbreaking story. It's a memorable one. And it is just a really good look at American fiction in that way. There's warnings of abuse, so trigger warning, there's abuse in this novel. There's like a lot. So if that type of thing you're sensitive to, I don't know if this is the book for you. I gave it a 4.5. And I said this book was beautifully written. The storytelling in prose was unlike anything I have read before and illustrated such a vibrant and colorful setting. At times it was like reading a book if I was wearing light blue colored glasses that turned the world around me, what the fuck, into Wonderland. I don't know who I thought I was. Not a perfect 5 for a few reasons, but possibly because a selfish one. I was not emotionally prepared for the novel, and it felt like jumping into the rabbit hole was the curse the character spoke about, and it was latching onto my own spirit. So what do I mean by that? Basically, this book really talks about, especially with her Cherokee father, he talks about like spirit a lot and how things can latch onto it and what that means and what that does to people. And there's a lot of discussions in this book about curses, and literally I closed this book feeling like I had a curse on me, low-key a little bit. And I think it's because I was just not emotionally prepared for this book, but I still think that it was really fucking good. And I actually think I was being a little bit harsh with 4.5. I think I'd probably give it somewhere closer to a 4.7. And I would put it right above Evil Eye. I wouldn't say that this is an S tier book. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I don't think it changed the direction of my life. But if you're looking for a good book about, you know, a journey that this child goes on with having a white mother and a Cherokee father in Appalachia, it's a good book. It's a good book for more reasons than that. But I think it taught me a lot too. Like, I didn't know about life on the Appalachia like that. If y'all have ever read Educated by Tara Westover, I think this is probably like the most similar. They have a lot of like commonality, if that makes sense. And Tiffany McDaniel does a really good job of handling characters. The mother in this book is a fuck ass bitch. I hate her. I'm gonna have trouble putting this video on YouTube probably because of my swearing, but she sucks. I hate her. I hate the mother with my entire soul spirit. Everything about her I hate. But she, you know, she gets out and survives anyway. So probably the top of my incredible reads and 100% recommendations for the year. And this is my tier list. This is my tier list of the year, of the books I read in 2024. I like how it goes very evenly like this. I'd love to read your stuff one day. Panda, I would love to publish my stuff one day. Or finish. Let's start with finishing my stuff one day. I'm working on a book right now. But one day maybe. The setup is good. Plum, it's a good book. Taking a little break after vacuuming and taking out the recycling. Okay, Chevy with the chores. How was the movie? The Discord movie. Solid list? Yay! Great list, awesome stream. Thank you, Van. Thank you for hanging out. Low-key inspiring me to read again. Then I have done my job. Solid, yeah, obsession. Dude, my throat hurts. I was thinking that maybe I would continue to stream and do some little nightmares. I don't know if I have that in my spirit or my goddamn soul. I can't. I'm choking. I'm choking. I need water. You convinced me to read at least 2 thrillers, which is something. Cam, which ones? Which ones are you thinking of reading? Oof. I've already added Notes on an Execution to the cart. Plum, it's such a good book. Notes on Execution is such a good book. Oh my god, and Into the Dream House. Cam, those are 2 good ones. Those are like the 2 I would suggest if you don't want to read a fantasy. Also, Tabs, you should read. I'm gonna snooze these because I think I'm actually gonna raid and run if that's okay. It was great to see you as well. Here, would you guys rather see somebody? I don't know who to raid. Let me see if there's anyone that we could do that's new. Book talk. Book stream. Should I just do book? Fuck. I don't know how to do this. Book stream. I'm literally looking at myself. Have a good time zone. Thank you, Plum. Yay, a tree. Also, it was so nice meeting you. I'm glad that you added that. Reading. Oh, that's a good idea. Writing and reading. Dude, I think I might be isolated on this one today. Do we want to go see someone play Marvel Rivals or do we want to go see someone play Psychonauts? What are we thinking? Or Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley, Psychonauts, or Marvel Rivals. Oh! What happened? That scared the shit out of me. Should we raid to someone, say, follow Panda, Psychonauts? Okay. You too, I think I've seen your name in a few other chats, so it's cool to catch a stream. Oh my god, that's awesome. Do you remember where from, Tree? Okay, let's start this raid, y'all. Oh, also, while anyone's here, if you don't know me, on Friday I am starting my first ever playthrough of Elden Ring, and I would love your support. I would love your support. Please come hang out with me that day. And it's a one day of all time where backseating is encouraged even. Let's go raid someone playing Psychonauts. I haven't been able to raid this person in a really long time, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is about the 1 year mark of when they raided me, because this is the 1 year mark of me streaming, and they were the first people to ever raid me in my entire life, and it was so lovely of them. And although I don't know shit about Psychonauts, but let's go say hi. I actually don't know nothing about Psychonauts. Nans or Rebel or TJ? All three, Tree. I probably all three. I fucking love Nans, dude. Thank you, Tree. I appreciate that. If you guys want to join me for a raid, if you're a sub, you could use that, and if you're a follower, you can use that. I literally love Nans so much. I get to catch your entire stream that day. Chubby, what? Oh my god, I didn't think you were gonna be able to catch any. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm really nervous. Actually, with the extra time I was gonna stream a bit, I'm probably just gonna start setting up some Elden Ring stuff. I need to download the game, and I also need to get my death counter set up. Okay, let's go raid. I'm gonna start this. If you want to raid with me, I would really appreciate somebody 11223344. Hello. Unfortunately, I'm ending stream. But if you would like, but hello, it's good to see you. We are gonna go raid someone, Friendly Fire 64. They were the first people to ever raid me in my entire life, and they actually helped me get, affiliate as well, which is very sweet. Like on January, like 19th. So, I would love if you could join me. Again, if you want to copy and paste these messages, that's the sub raid, and this is the regular raid. But let me say my byes. Tree, it was really lovely meeting you. Panda, thank you for dropping in. Chevy, thank you as always. I'm so glad I get to see you on Sunday. Vague, thank you for everything. Thank you for modding. Thank you for being here. Cam, goodbye, Cam. It was so lovely talking to you. Bayend, Plum, Tabs, everybody. Mark, thank you so much for hanging out. I will hopefully see you there for the raid. If you can join me, I need a copy and paste.